What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the UFC 281 Israel Adesanya versus Alex Pereira pre-fight. I do a stream every single Friday before a big pay-per-view card where I give my full card predictions. We talk more in depth about all the major fights on the card, and that's what we're going to do in this stream. So thank you guys for joining me. Sorry I'm a little bit late from what I scheduled it on the channel. I ran into some technical difficulties, and I was already running a little bit late as well. But I'm here. We're going to do like maybe 2 hours or so. I'm going to go through my full card picks. We can talk more about Adesanya versus Pereira. We can talk more about Weili Zhang versus Carla Esparza. We can talk more about Dustin Poirier versus Michael Chandler. And it's good. I mean, it's only 24 hours away. We're less than 24 hours away from the start of UFC 281. I'm really excited for it. I put in the description the link to my UFC 281 playlist, which has all my predictions, all my videos that I made about UFC 281. So if you guys are looking for any of those videos, you can find them down in the description under the UFC 281 playlist. If you haven't watched them, I encourage you to go watch them after the stream. They're much better breakdowns that I'm going to give you in this stream, basically. We're only going to briefly go through them. My nose is already itching on the start of the stream. We're going to go through the full card. I'm going to give you guys my predictions for every single fight on the card, every method, the victory, all that good stuff. We're going to talk about the fights in depth. We've now seen the weigh-ins. We've now seen the ceremonial weigh-ins. We've now seen the press conference. We have everything we could possibly need. Have any of the predictions changed? We'll talk about that as well. And I'm going to answer all your guys' questions as well. Do me a favor. I already seen a bunch of you guys already like the stream. If you're in here and you have not liked the stream yet, like the stream. Also, if you're watching this stream right now and you're not subscribed to the channel, subscribe to the channel. If you're watching right now and you are subscribed to the channel, but you don't have notifications on, I can see how many people have notifications on. And I have a goal of having 1,000 people with notifications on, and I'm very close to that goal. So if you could turn on notifications, that little bell icon next to the subscribe button. Also, I will not be live streaming the fight card tomorrow, but I will be doing a live post-fight immediately following the fights. I will schedule it on the channel probably tomorrow morning. So you guys can join me immediately following the fights. I'm going to give you my reaction, my breakdown, all the results. We're going to discuss everything about the card. We're going to talk about the decisions if there's any bad decisions. We'll be doing that tomorrow as soon as the fights end. As soon as the fights end, as soon as the winner, the main event winner is interviewed, boom, I'll be on here live streaming. So make sure you join me for that post-fight. And I think that's pretty much everything. It's hard to believe. I mean, we are 1 day away from UFC 281 finally. It felt like we were waiting for UFC 280 forever. And now, boom, UFC 281 is just smacking us in the face quick. So who knows? Before you know it, we'll be at UFC 282 next month, December, and then the year's going to be over, which is crazy to me. I don't know where the year has gone. But we'll start off. You guys can throw questions in the chat. We'll get to them momentarily. But let's start with the full card predictions. We're going to start at the bottom, work our way to the top. I've already went through, and I've made my selections on Tapology. Maybe I'll change some. I don't know. We'll see. Let's see what I got so far. Okay. Edit predictions. Let's go from the bottom to the top. First fight on the card on the early prelims, we have Carlos Ulberg versus Negumereanu. I think is how you pronounce it. I always butcher his name. So Carlos Ulberg versus Nikolai. This is an interesting fight. Ulberg trains with Israel Adesanya, so he gets a lot of hype. So it almost makes me want to not pick him. Nikolai had that good fight against Ihor Portera. I forgot how to pronounce his last name as well. I have a terrible time pronouncing with pronunciation. I started saying pronouncing and pronunciation in the same sentence. I have a terrible time with pronunciations of some of these names, and I can't remember how they pronounce them. But anyway, he had a good fight in his last fight. He's on a 4-fight win streak. Ulberg's on a 2-fight win streak. The fight against Fabio Charant was absolutely god-awful. Man, I picked Ulberg. I picked Ulberg by second round TKO. You know, the fact that he trains with Israel Adesanya and the hype that he's getting makes me not want to pick him. I think Nikolai could get it done. I could see him winning the fight via KO, TKO. I think he's a decent, well-rounded fighter. I think Ulberg has the striking advantage. But how is his takedown defense? His last loss was against Kennedy Nchukwu, 2 years ago, but he's only fought twice since then. He's fought terrible competition. Nikolai hasn't fought the best competition, has a win over Kennedy Nchukwu, so they have an opponent in common. I really didn't know who to pick in this one. I think Ulberg definitely has the stand-up advantage. I think Nikolai definitely has the grappling advantage. Part of me thinks there's no way that you're going to have City Kickboxing win every single fight on the card, or every single one of their fights on the card is what I mean to say. Nikolai's a little bit younger, has a 1-inch reach advantage, has a 4-inch height disadvantage. I'm going Carlos Ulberg via second round TKO. I'm just going to stick with that, but that's a 50-50 fight. It's a very difficult fight to pick. Moving up the card, Julio Arce versus Montel Jackson. According to Tapology, most people are picking Montel Jackson. You look at Julio Arce, he's coming off a win over Daniel Santos, not the greatest of competition. Has a loss to Song Yadong. Not a terrible loss to have. I think Song Yadong is a very, very good fighter. Has a win over Andre Ewell. How much does that really mean? Has a loss over Hakeem Dawodu. Has a win over Julian Erosa, which is solid. I remember that fight. That was a long time ago, though. It's crazy that was that long ago. It was 3.5 years ago at this point. You have Montel Jackson as a decision win over JP Buys a year ago, a TKO win over Jesse Strader, a decision loss to Brett Johns. But we're getting back 2-3 years ago at this point. I think this is another 50-50 fight. I think this could go either way. I don't think either guy gets to finish in this fight. Neither guy is particularly like a big finisher. And when they're losing, they're not particularly getting finished either. I'm gonna go Julio Arce by decision is what I'm gonna go. Julio Arce by decision. I'm not sure. I haven't watched a lot of tape on these guys recently. Going to a decision with JP Buys. Is JP Buys even in the UFC anymore? There is a 5.5 reach advantage, 5.5-inch reach advantage for Montel Jackson, a 3-inch height advantage for Montel Jackson. I have no idea how this fight's going to go, to be honest. I haven't watched any tape on it to brush myself up. That's why I haven't done like a video of full card picks, just because of fights like this. But I think it's a 50-50 fight. 75% of, or never mind, it's not. The majority of people are picking, no, I am right. 75% of people are picking Montel Jackson. He is younger. He does have the reach advantage. I probably should pick him. But I think Julio Arce is maybe a little bit better. Maybe he's fought a little bit better competition. I'm going to go Julio Arce by decision. All right, moving up the card, Mike Trizano versus Seung-Woo Choi. This is another fight that, honestly, a lot of these fights on the early prelims are very difficult fights to pick. Both guys are 30 years old. Most people are picking Choi, which I figured that would be the case. This is a featherweight fight. Reach advantage for Choi. Let's see. Opponents. He's on a 2-fight losing streak. Joshua Kulibao was his most recent fight. And Alex Caceres, who's highly underrated in the featherweight division. Wins over Julian Erosa, Yusuf Zalal, and, another guy who doesn't matter, who's no longer in the UFC, whose name I cannot pronounce. Trizano's coming off a loss against Lucas Almeida. Before that, a loss to Hakeem Dawodu. A win over Ludovic Klein, which I think is actually a decent win, but that's a 1.5 years ago. And then we're looking at 3.5 years ago. So he hasn't been super active against Grant Dawson. I didn't even remember Grant Dawson was in the UFC 3.5 years ago. Let me take a look at something real quick, because I'm not 100% sure. Let's take a look. I'm pretty sure I saw this, but let me just double check. Okay, where are we at? Where are we at? Yeah, Mike Trizano missed weight by 1.6 pounds. I thought I saw that he missed weight, but I just wanted to confirm before I said that. I'm not going with him. I mean, he's got a reach disadvantage. I think Choi, his losses are to decent competition. Not the greatest of competition, but decent competition. And I just think he's probably going to be a little bit better striker. He has a little bit more experience. I'm going Sung Woi Choi, but I'm not. Again, I haven't watched tapes on these guys recently. I just haven't had the time, especially when I do a bunch of those full breakdowns and predictions. I'm going Sung Woi Choi by decision. You look at his last few fights, Mike Trizano's only been finished. Well, never mind. He's only fought 3 times in the past year and a half. And then after that, it's been like a big year and a half gap. He got finished by Lucas Almeida. I could see him getting finished again. But I'm going to go Choi via decision. I think Choi via decision. I think he'll get it done with the striking. Carolina Kovalevich versus Silvana Gomez Juarez. Carolina Kovalevich at one point in time was considered the elite of the elite within the division, which is absolute straight up insanity because how bad she's done. She won her last fight against Felice Herrig. People used to act like Felice Herrig was so good, but Felice Herrig is an absolute bum. Always was, even in her prime. And at this point, she was no longer in her prime. So Carolina Kovalevich gets a win there. But the fights before that, I mean, she was on a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 fight losing streak. And she got finished 2 out of the 5. Her last 2 wins are actually against Felice Herrig. She beat Felice Herrig in her last fight in June via rear naked choke. And then the last time she got a win before that was 2018 against Felice Herrig via split decision on the Khabib Al Quinta card. I don't trust that Carolina Kovalevich is back. I just think she fought an absolute bum. Silvana Gomez Juarez, has a decent TKO winish over Na Lang. She lost to Vanessa Demopoulos, which I actually think I picked her in that fight. She lost, I think it was in the first round. She lost to Lupi Godinez, but I think Lupi Godinez is very good. She lost via armbar there. So she only has 1 win in the UFC, actually. And they're both 37 years old. This is another one that really could go either way. They're both 5'3". They both have, Kovalevich has a 1-inch reach advantage. I'm going Juarez via decision. Most women's fights go to decision. It wouldn't shock me if Carolina Kovalevich got one via submission. But I just think, she's so low level at this point. She's regressed so much that I just don't trust her to get it done against Silvana Gomez Juarez. But I think that's another toss-up. Moving up the card, Otman Azaitar versus Matt Frevola. This is crazy because Otman Azaitar was a very promising prospect at one point in time. But he now has not fought in over 2 years. He's 32 years old, so another 2. So he was 30 years old the last time he fought. That's crazy that he's been out for that long. They're both the exact same age. They both are basically the exact same height. Frevola has a 1-inch height advantage, and they both have a 71-inch reach. I think this is an easy fight to pick. I think Otman Azaitar wins. I think he has great hands. I think he has good power. I think he has better striking. I think he's a very promising prospect, but I am worried about that time off. I'm very worried about that time off that he has. There's the whole incident on Fight Island where he's sneaking around with a bag of potatoes or whatever. I don't remember what was going on there. And Matt Frevola also is very, very tough. He has a win over Jalen Turner. It's 3 years ago, but still a win over Jalen Turner. His picture on Tapology is hilarious. But I think Otman Azaitar wins this fight, and I think he dominates the entire thing on the feet. I think he's a far better striker. I think Matt Frevola is going to look to grapple in this fight, and I think Azaitar is going to beat him up in the first round, but Frevola will be able to survive with desperation takedowns and desperation clinch work. But I think Azaitar finishes him in the second round. I'm going to go Otman Azaitar second round TKO. Moving up the card, Andre Petroski versus Wellington Turman. I don't trust Wellington Turman at all. He went to a split decision against Sam Alvey. How can you trust the Wellington Turman? Wellington Turman's been super inconsistent throughout his career, Petroski just absolutely destroyed Nick Maximoff in his last fight, submitted him very early on, shot for a takedown, immediately guillotined him. And honestly, I don't trust Wellington Turman. You never know what you're going to get with Wellington Turman. I don't trust Petroski's gas tank, but I think he's a very good grappler, but sometimes he does gas and then he can't get the takedowns. He hasn't fought like an elite level competition at all. You know, Nick Maximoff didn't even belong in the UFC. Now he's no longer here, but he finished him with a submission. Petroski likes to finish you with submissions. I think Petroski has decent power as well. I think he came off the Ultimate Fighter, if I'm not mistaken. Or maybe I'm wrong on that. I think I might be wrong on that. I don't know. But anyway, Petroski, very good grappler, very good submission guy. Wellington Turman has been finished. Let me see how many times he's been finished real quick in recent history, because Tapology, I gotta go to a different page for that. In the UFC, he has been finished. He got finished by Bruno Silva. Not a terrible loss to have. He got finished by Andrew Sanchez. He lost via split decision to Carl Roberson. So, he's only been finished the 2 times in the UFC. But in the UFC, he's 3-3. Super inconsistent. Petroski, I don't trust 100% to get it done. But I think Petroski will win this fight. I think he'll win it with his grappling, and I think he'll probably finish him on the ground with ground and pound. And maybe, just maybe, he beats him up on the ground and then eventually gets a sub on the ground. So I am going to go Andre Petroski, second round TKO, ground and pound TKO. Moving up the card, and I've done full breakdown and prediction videos for every single one of these fights I'm about to talk about. I've watched recent tape on every single one of these fighters on the card, and I'm pretty confident with my picks on these ones. We're going to discuss Aaron Blanchfield, and I'm going to get to questions, guys, as soon as I get through these full card picks. People always ask me, what's your full card picks? What are your full card picks? I'm going to get to questions. So if you have not already, like the stream, put a question in the chat, subscribe to the channel. I will get there very, very shortly. I'm just going through these fights. But moving up the card, we have Aaron Blanchfield versus Molly McCann. And I meant to mention Petroski versus Turman is the first televised prelim. Everything else is the early prelim. So this is a really good card. Aaron Blanchfield, Molly McCann. I don't feel like this is a difficult fight to pick at all. You have Molly McCann, who, I get it. You know, she's spinning back, elbow KO'd Hannah Goldie. She's spinning back KO'd Luna Carolina. She beat Yi Young Kim by decision. She lost to, Talia Santos almost, a little over 2 years ago. And she's looked like an absolute destroyer in the last 2 fights, is the point I'm getting to. And she's riding the coattails of Patty Pimblett. And a lot of people are saying Molly McCann's going to get it done. I think Aaron Blanchfield wins this fight easily. Molly McCann has issues with grapplers. She's 32 years old. She has a massive 6-inch reach disadvantage. They're the same height. Aaron Blanchfield is almost 10 years younger, 9 years younger. I think Aaron Blanchfield wins this fight with her grappling. I do see some holes in Aaron Blanchfield's striking. And Molly McCann, while she's not super technical, she can just look to try to bulldoze you and just press you, and she could land some shots. So there is a scenario where I could see Molly McCann winning via TKO in like the second round or third round. But I think Aaron Blanchfield gets it done with her grappling. I think Molly McCann's very hard to finish. So I went with Aaron Blanchfield via decision. Blanchfield's on a decent win streak. Molly McCann's on a 3-fight win streak. According to this, 73% are picking her on Tapology, picking Blanchfield. I think that's a safe bet. I'm very confident that Aaron Blanchfield gets this one done. Moving up the card, Dominic Reyes versus Ryan Spann. Dominic Reyes returning after a long layoff when he got absolutely brutalized by Yuri Prochazka. Spinning back elbow KO. Was crazy, crazy, crazy knockout. And then he went on to become the champion. One thing I do want to highlight about Dominic Reyes, which I did highlight in my breakdown and prediction video. Yuri Prochazka was his last fight. Jan Blachowicz was the fight before that. And John Jones was the fight before that. Look at that strength of schedule, okay? Dominic Reyes has fought the best of the best. He arguably beat John Jones. Then he got completely outclassed by Jan Blachowicz. And then he got brutalized by Yuri Prochazka. But he was very competitive in that fight and had some moments in that fight. Ryan Spann, he beat Ian Cutelaba in his last fight. Cutelaba is an absolute maniac. Slipped on his own feet, throwing a combination, and then got submitted via guillotine. Fight before that, Ryan Spann got dominated. Not dominated. Now, he had some moments in the fight. He lost to Anthony Smith via rear naked choke. Fight before that, he beat Misha Sakronov. What does that really mean? Fight before that, he lost Johnny Walker, but he almost finished Johnny Walker. Fight before that, he has a split decision against Sam Alvey. I will never trust a single fighter on the roster that has a split decision against Sam Alvey, okay? If you have a split decision against Sam Alvey, I will not be picking you ever. I think Dominic Reyes is leaps and bounds better than Ryan Spann, but Ryan Spann is massive. On top of that, he missed weight by 0.6 pounds, so not that much to have a significant advantage. But he did miss weight. He's already massive. He has brutal KO power. He swings like a wild man. Ryan Spann either gets a finish or he gets finished early. And I think Dominic Reyes is far better than him, has a great right hand, can mix in the grappling, great body kicks, great arsenal of attack from Dominic Reyes. I think Dominic Reyes gets this one done, and I think Ryan Spann comes out looking to take his head off. Dominic Reyes counters him with the right hand, puts him to sleep. I am going Dominic Reyes first round TKO or KO. Reyes does have a 4.5-inch reach disadvantage and a 1-inch height disadvantage. They're both about the same age. Reyes is 32. Spann is 31. I do think Spann could KO him. We don't know where Dominic Reyes is at after a long layoff. So I'm a little bit worried about that. But I think if Dominic Reyes, unless he's just fallen off a cliff, I think Dominic Reyes will get it done. But if he does lose to Ryan Spann and he gets brutalized, it's the end of Dominic Reyes. Moving up the card, Renato Moicano versus Brad Riddell. Renato Moicano is 33 years old. Brad Riddell is 31. Roughly the same reach, half-inch reach advantage for Moicano. Both coming into the fight on losses. Renato Moicano just got brutalized by Rafael Sunsao in his last fight on short notice. 5-round fight for no reason. Took a lot of damage. The ref failed him. The doctor failed him. His corner failed him. Before that, he beat Alexander Hernandez and Jai Herbert. Lost to Rafael Fiziev. They both have fought Rafael Fiziev. For Brad Riddell, he lost to Jalen Turner and Rafael Fiziev as well. Has a win over Drew Dober in a crazy fight. Win over Alex De Silva. And a win over Magomed Mustafayev. I think either guy could win this fight. I think this is a close fight as well. This is a pick'em fight. I think Brad Riddell gets it done. I think he's a little bit crisper on the feet. I think he's a little bit better defensively. I think he hasn't taken nowhere near as much wear and tear. He's coming back not super quick after the Jalen Turner loss. It's been 5 months. Renato Moicano, it's been 8 months for him, but he needed like 2 years after that beatdown from Rafael Dos Anjos, honestly. So I can't pick him after that brutalization by Dos Anjos. I do think Moicano has very good striking, but I think Riddell has the advantage in the striking and the grappling. I think Riddell is a very good kickboxer, and I think he has decent enough grappling where if Moicano is like beating him up on the feet, I think he can mix in the grappling. But neither guy tends to get finished. I mean, look what Moicano did in his last fight, but eventually your chin's going to go. I know Brad Riddell got finished in his last fight against Jalen Turner via submission, and he got KO'd by Rafael Fiziev. Both of these guys have got KO'd by Rafael Fiziev, but as far as their career, neither one of them gets finished, particularly a lot. Neither one of them has a glass chin. So I'm going Brad Riddell to win via decision. I think this will be a kind of close fight where Riddell just kind of lands the better shots and then maybe gets a clinch or a takedown here and has some control time with a little bit of damage and wins the fight via decision. Moving up the card, the first fight on the main card, Dan Hooker versus Claudio Puelles, or however you pronounce his name. This fight means Dan Hooker's fight career is on the line. If he loses this fight, he loses 3 in a row. If he loses this fight, he loses 5 out of his last 6. And his career will be signified by a war against Dustin Poirier. That'll be the story of Dan Hooker's career, that Dustin Poirier took his soul. That will be the story. Does Claudio Puelles beat him in this fight? Claudio Puelles is going to look to come in, take you down, and submit you. Puelles is on a decent win streak right now. I think is it a 5-fight win streak or what is it? Let me take a look. 1, 2, 3, 4. It is a 5-fight win streak. Not against the best competition. Clay Guida, Chris Grutzmacher, Jordan Levitt. Claudio Puelles wants to take you down and submit you. Dan Hooker has good takedown defense. Dan Hooker has very good striking, and I think his striking is leaps and bounds better than Claudio Puelles. And Puelles has god-awful takedowns. He's very good at transitioning into submissions, but god-awful takedowns. And I think Dan Hooker's going to catch him with a step-in knee and finish him in the second round. Has the reach advantage. I think he's a far better striker. Claudio Puelles is 6 years younger, but hasn't fought nowhere near the level of competition Dan Hooker has. So I'm going Dan Hooker via second round step-in knee TKO. I think Dan Hooker rejuvenates his career in this fight. I don't know why I'm mispronouncing so many words tonight. Moving up the card, Frankie Edgar versus Chris Gutierrez. I feel like most people are going Chris Gutierrez, and they're picking Chris Gutierrez by brutal KO. Frankie Edgar brutally front kick KO'd in his last fight against Marlon Chito Vera. Brutally flying knee KO'd against Corey Sandhagen. His last win was against Pedro Munoz in a fight that he lost but won via split decision. Before that, got KO'd by Chan Sung Jung. Before that, he lost the decision to Max Holloway in a featherweight title fight 3 years ago. Frankie's 41 years old. Chris Gutierrez is 31. 10 years, just a 10 years youth advantage for Gutierrez. Similar height, similar reach. Actually, 3-inch height advantage for Gutierrez. People forget about Frankie Edgar, okay? People really do forget about this guy. I know he's a legend in the sport, but people are acting like he's so bad. And I know he's gotten finished, but he's gotten finished by some of the top guys. He was beating he wasn't beating. It was very competitive against Marlon Vera in his last fight, exactly 1 year ago. Arguably could have been winning the fight. There's a case to be made he could have been winning the fight with his wrestling. I think Chris Gutierrez could go out there and make Frankie Edgar show his age, show the damage he's taken. He's taken a lot of damage over the course of his career. Those Gray Maynard's fights were absolutely horrific. He took a lot of damage, was able to come back and win those fights. But I think Frankie Edgar is better than Gutierrez everywhere. I think if Gutierrez wins this fight, it will basically be because of the leg kicks. Gutierrez has nasty leg kicks. But his striking with his hands especially leaves a lot to be desired. He's a very good kicker. Frankie Edgar's really good at checking kicks. He's really good at catching kicks as well and looking for the takedown. His wrestling's very good. His boxing is pretty good. He just has pillow punches. He doesn't really have any power. His stamina hasn't looked great in his last few fights. I think it's kind of, what's the word I'm looking for? It's kind of regressed a little bit in his last few fights, it seemed. Even in the 3-round fight against Marlon Vera, he looked very tired in the 3rd round. But he's getting up there in age. This is his retirement fight. I think he's going to come in more motivated than ever. I think they gave him a fighter that he can get a win over. And I think Frankie Edgar wins this fight via decision and rides off into the sunset. Apparently, Frankie Edgar's a massive underdog in this fight. So I would take Frankie Edgar. If I was a betting man, I'd take Frankie Edgar. I'm pretty confident he gets it done unless his chin's just completely gone, which it may very well be. But Gutierrez doesn't have the best hands. If I was picking Gutierrez to win this fight, I'd pick him via head kick KO. But I think Frankie Edgar gets it done via decision is what I picked him by. I wanted to make sure. I thought that's what I picked him by, but I wasn't 100% sure. I actually wouldn't be surprised if Frankie Edgar somehow gets a finish on the ground. Like, he took Yair down and beat the piss out of him. I know that was 5 years ago, but beat him up. So I could see him finishing him with some ground and pound, maybe. But at his advanced age, I don't think that's super likely. So I'm going Frankie Edgar via decision. I'm not changing that pick. I also have a full breakdown and prediction of that on the channel. Moving up the card, these are the good fights. These are really good fights. Dustin Poirier versus Michael Chandler, the featured fight on the main card. What an incredible fight, guys. That's all I got to say. There's no way this fight is boring. I'm really excited for this fight. And ever since, when I hear of a fight announcement, I already have okay, I kind of know who I'm picking in my head. That has not changed in this fight. I'm going Dustin Poirier. And honestly, I flipped back and forth. I was either going to go 2nd round TKO or 3rd round TKO. I'm kind of regretting I went with 3rd round TKO, but I think Dustin could get it done 2nd round TKO. If I go back in time and re-record my video, I'd probably take 2nd round TKO. I don't trust Chandler's stamina. I don't trust his chin. and I don't trust his boxing ability. He's explosive. He has nasty power. If he does not get the KO in the first round, he will get finished by Dustin Poirier. If Dustin Poirier hurts you, he does not let you off the hook. He will swarm you into oblivion with combinations. Look what he did to Conor McGregor in the second fight at 257. So I think in this fight, Chandler has to get a KO early. And for the people saying, Michael Chandler has a wrestling advantage, Michael Chandler has good jiu-jitsu, Chandler never uses his wrestling ever. And the reason he doesn't use his wrestling is because it gets him tired way faster. So he's not going to do it. Even if he does, I think he gets even more tired in the first round. Maybe he holds Dustin down for the first round, and then Dustin finishes him in the second round. I think Dustin is crisper on the feet. I think he's more durable. I think he has better stamina. You know, he's taken a decent amount of damage in his career as well, and while Chandler has as well, he's younger. He's 3 years younger. He has a reach advantage, a slight reach advantage, has a slight height advantage. You know, he's had some decent time off since his last fight against Charles Oliveira. And I know Michael Chandler defeated Tony Ferguson in his last fight and absolutely brutally chinned him. But Tony Ferguson won that first round. And look how bad that win has aged, in my opinion. So I think what'll happen is Poirier will kind of weather the early storm, block a lot of shots. Dustin's got a very good defensive shell. Chandler kind of gas himself out and start to tire down in the second round. Poirier will start to turn it up. Leg kicks. Chandler's very susceptible to leg kicks. And guess what? Poirier's very good at them. He will be chopping that calf of Michael Chandler, slowing him down even more than he already is. And I think he'll find the chin, hurt him badly, and TKO him. He'll end up like swarming him up against the fence and finishing him up against the fence, in my opinion. Third round TKO, but I could see it happen in late second round as well. Moving up the card, co-main event, women's strawweight title fight, Carla Esparza versus Weili Zhang. Is anybody going with Carla Esparza? Weili Zhang's going to wreck her brutally in the first round. Carla's going to have to grapple for dear life, and she has to survive the early rounds. I could see a scenario where if Carla can survive the early rounds, she could out-grapple Weili later. But with Weili's speed, her striking, and her footwork, I don't think Carla's going to be able to just grapple her from the jump. And especially considering Weili knows what's coming. You know, it's not like Carla's an elite-level striker that can mix in the grappling. So I think Weili Zhang goes out there and just absolutely steamrolls her. Steamrolls her, similar to the Jessica Andrade fight. Carla has to win with the grappling. She has to win via decision or a late round TKO. I would be shocked. I would be absolutely shocked if Carla Esparza pulled this off. And I would also throw up. And I would also probably jump in a wood chipper as well. Carla Esparza, that performance she put on against Rose Namajunas at 274, I got to let it go. The hatred I have towards Carla Esparza after that performance is just too much. So, Weili Zhang, first round TKO. I'm going to enjoy it, and then I'm going to forgive Carla Esparza after that. Because for those of you who don't know, and I think I've told this story on the channel before, I'm not 100% sure. When Chris Weidman beat Anderson Silva, he KO'd him. He took the title. They had the rematch. Anderson Silva breaks his leg, and Weidman drapes himself in the American flag and prances around the ring celebrating, okay? And then admittedly is taking pictures, checking leg kicks after the fact. I had some serious resentment towards Chris Weidman. He was my least favorite fighter. I hated him more than any fighter on the UFC roster, okay? But then, and let me make sure I get this in chronological order. I mean, I'm pretty sure I know, but let me just double check. And then Chris Weidman goes on to win a couple fights, but then he runs into Luke Rockhold. And Luke Rockhold full mounts him, beats the living shit out of him, and it should have been stopped in the third round. One of the worst non-stoppages by Herb Dean I've ever seen. Fourth round, they come out. Luke Rockhold gets him down, full mounts him again, beats the piss out of him again, gets a TKO win, takes his belt off him. That wasn't enough for me. That was not enough for me. Then Chris Weidman goes out there at UFC 205 and gets flying knee KO'd by Yoel Romero. The brutality of that knee and then those subsequent like ground and pound shots that Yoel Romero just yanked back as hard as he could and just threw the, like he was trying to just destroy Chris Weidman's head in the third round of a fight that Chris Weidman could have been up. It still wasn't enough for me. And then you had Gegard Mousasi immediately afterwards. TKO'd Weidman with some brutal knees that Weidman complained about the stoppage, okay? Then Kelvin Gastelum damn near finishes Chris Weidman, but then the size disadvantage is too much, and he finishes Kelvin Gastelum. Then he fights Jacare Souza and gets KO'd again. Still wasn't enough for me. Then he fights Dominic Reyes and gets KO'd again. I'm starting to think, okay, I think I can forgive Chris Weidman for what he did to Anderson Silva. But then when he fought Uriah Hall, and we see the ultimate, I don't know what you want to call it. You want to call it karma. I would never wish that type of injury on someone ever. Chris Weidman breaks his leg. So he's been now KO'd in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 fights. And then he breaks his leg. I had to forgive him at that point in time. I had to forgive him. And the whole point of this story is, I forgive you, Carla, after you take this beating from Weili Zhang. I can forgive you. What Chris Weidman did was more egregious. The way he pranced around the cage, draped in the American flag, celebrating another man breaking his leg. That took a little bit more for me to forgive. But for you take this beating from Weili Zhang, and I can forgive you for what you did against Rose Namajunas. But I'm never going to forget, okay? And I'm going to bring it up on a regular basis. So again, I know I went to a little bit of a spiel there, but I'm going Weili Zhang via first round TKO. To the main event. Israel Adesanya versus Alex Pereira. Whew, I'm excited for this main event. What a storyline this fight is. You have the fact Israel Adesanya signs with the UFC, goes on an absolute tear, becomes the UFC middleweight champion, has been a fairly dominant champion, and Alex Pereira comes over knowing that he has a decision win in kickboxing over Israel Adesanya, knowing that he has a KO victory over Israel Adesanya. The UFC signs him almost exactly a year ago. Today, he made his UFC debut at UFC 268, and we all knew what the UFC was going to try to do. They were going to try to get him 2-3 fights and find a way to let him fight, to rationalize him fighting for a title without fighting a grappler. And that's exactly what's happened now. He KO'd Sean Strickland, who we all knew might not grapple him. I picked Alex Pereira via TKO in that fight. And now he's fighting Adesanya, and people are saying Alex Pereira is the boogeyman for Israel Adesanya. And I go back and watch those kickboxing fights, which keep in mind are like 5 and 6 years ago or 4 and 5 years ago. 99% of those fights, Israel Adesanya was winning for the majority of the exchanges. Israel Adesanya was winning. He almost finished Pereira in the second fight. And I think Adesanya has gotten much better since then. And also, striking in kickboxing and striking in MMA is vastly different. Okay? You don't have to worry about the takedown. You don't have to worry about the clinch. And also, the footwork in MMA, particularly in the UFC, is vastly different than the footwork needed in kickboxing when you're fighting in a square ring with ropes. And I believe in this fight, Israel Adesanya has a massive advantage on the feet. Don't get me wrong. Alex Pereira has nasty power, particularly with that left hook, which he KO'd Israel Adesanya with, but it was 5 years ago. Adesanya has gotten much better. Pereira has gotten much better. But you look at Pereira's fights, if he's striking the way he was striking against Bruno Silva in that third round, Adesanya will KO him, okay? And Pereira has never been in a 5-round MMA fight. I don't think Adesanya is going to shoot it on takedowns, but I think Adesanya will use the clinch in this fight. I think he will have a clinch advantage against Pereira. I know Pereira's training with Glover Teixeira, so I'm sure his grappling is getting much better. But I think Adesanya is the more technical striker, And I think Pereira is the exact style that Adesanya likes to fight. People say, oh, Adesanya is boring. Adesanya is this. Adesanya is that. You know, and it is his fault. Don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to sit here and defend him. But he wants an opponent that's going to move forward on him so he can counter strike. Alex Pereira will move forward on him and look to drop bombs on Israel Adesanya. But you know who also tried to do that? Paulo Costa. And granted, I think Pereira is a more technical striker, obviously, than Paulo Costa. Has a longer reach than Paulo Costa. Is more of an elite striker than Paulo Costa. Yes, he is. But Pereira's going to move forward. He's going to get countered. I think he's going to get tired. I think Adesanya is going to be super careful in those first 2 rounds. I think as the fight goes on, I do think that Pereira is going to start to slow down and he's going to start walking into some shots. And when he realizes, you know, I'm down, I need a finish here in this 3rd, 4th, or 5th round, I think he's going to press forward. I think he's going to get a little bit more reckless. And I think in that 4th round, he's going to be more tired than ever. I think he's going to know he's down on the scorecards. I think he's going to be looking for a finish. I think he's going to be looking for that left hook. I think he's going to be spamming that left hook. Israel Adesanya is an elite level striker. He has great footwork. He has great head movement. I think Pereira is going to walk into a big shot, get dropped by Israel Adesanya in the 4th round, and get finished off on the ground via ground and pound. And it'll be similar to like the Robert Whittaker KO, where I think that it's pretty much going to be over once he drops him on the feet. You know, he's going to clip him badly on the feet. He's going to walk into something. Pereira's going to walk into something. He's going to get finished. He's going to be tired. I just think Adesanya is a far superior striker than Alex Pereira. Without the power of Alex Pereira, I don't really see a way he wins this fight, you know? And I had an early prediction of Alex Pereira. But once I dug deeper into these fights against Adesanya, once I rewatched that Bruno Silva fight, once I rewatched that Andreas Michailidis fight, you know, I really truly believe this, you know, as crazy as this sounds, in 1 year, Pereira has gone from UFC debut to fighting for a middleweight title. I think the drop-off is going to be even quicker than that. I think after this fight, people are going to say Pereira was never good. I don't know how they're not going to be able to find him a way to come back if he gets finished like that. And on top of that, he's not beating Whittaker. He's not beating Vettori. So even if he wins the belt, he's going to lose it right away because he's going to lose to Whittaker. He would lose to Vettori. There are some fights that he can win. The division's not particularly grappling heavy. But I think Pereira is going to come and go in the next year. I don't think Pereira is going to be sticking around in the UFC unless he's able to just develop his striking and just go out there and brutalize Adesanya and then go out there and, you know, be able to fend off takedowns against a guy like Vettori or Whittaker. And I don't think that's super likely. So I think Adesanya finishes him in the 4th round. And I think Pereira will fall off the face of the earth after that. Maybe get 1 or 2 more good wins in the UFC, but never get another title shot. And I think he's going to disappear as fast as he arrived. So there you go. There's my full card picks for UFC 281. Israel Adesanya versus Alex Pereira. I just wanted to go through the full card to start it off. But just to recap, I have Ulberg via 2nd round TKO. I have Julio Arce via 2nd round TKO. I'm picking a lot of 2nd round TKOs, all right? I got Choi via decision. I got Juarez via decision. I got Azaitar via 2nd round TKO. I got Petroski via 2nd round TKO. I got Blanchfield via decision. I got Reyes 1st round KO. I got Riddell decision. Hooker 2nd round TKO. Edgar decision. Poirier 3rd round TKO or 2nd round TKO. I got Zhang with a 1st round KO over Carla Esparza. And Adesanya a 4th round TKO over Alex Pereira. There's all my picks. Now I'm going to get to questions. If you want to find my UFC 281 playlist, it's down in the description. I go over every single pick on the card. Or no, I'm sorry. I go in depth with every single one of those picks from the prelims on up. You can check all those out on my playlist in detail. I break it down much better than I did in this stream, but I just wanted to give you guys a full card picks. Let me X out of some of these tabs, then we're going to get to questions. If you guys have any questions, throw them in the chat. If you have not yet, do me a favor and like the stream. I would greatly appreciate it. Yeah, so let's get to some questions. Let's see who's in the chat. Thank you guys for being patient. I just wanted to get through those because so many people are asking me, what's your full card picks? And I want to give them the answers. Also, guys, if you're watching right now and you're not following me on Twitter and Instagram, it's at MMA Joey C. So you can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at MMA Joey C. Also, I will not be live during the fights tomorrow, but I will be in the Discord messaging with all you guys. We have about 50, 60 guys in there in the Discord. We have a Fight Night live chat channel in the Discord. If you want to become a member, if you want to join the Discord, the link to become a member is down in the description. You get a bunch of other benefits as well, but you'll be able to chat with me and a lot of our community during UFC 281 tomorrow night. Okay. Mukhtar says, good evening, Joey. Hope you are well. Excited for this pay-per-view. What's going on, man? I appreciate you. Thanks for joining. And before I even get into any of that, let me get into these. Besides you, thank you for the 12 months of membership. 281 is going to be fire. I agree. And thank you for the 12 months of membership. I greatly appreciate you. Billy L., thank you for the 4 months of membership. What's up, fellow soy boys? Yeah, what's going on? What's going on, my friend? We got another soy boy in the chat. And it looks like we may just have very well some chump change. So we got a soy boy college fund chump change. Thank you, NKS, for your $2 super chat. I appreciate your soy boy donation. Thank you for the chump change to go towards the college fund. Thank you for joining me for the 281 pre-fight live stream. I appreciate all you guys. You have no idea. It's crazy that we're able to build this community up, and I can't believe it. Also, if there's anybody watching right now, I do these streams all the time. Subscribe to the channel. Okay. Good morning, says Tommy. What's up? Good morning, Tommy. Hey, Joey, hope you're doing well. I'm doing well. Homework, what's going on? Carlos Garcia says, worth the wait. Thank you. What's up, French fries? What's up, Jack? What's up, Tommy? Thoughts on how Alex's cardio will hold up if we get the 4th and 5th round? I don't believe it will hold up, and I think it will directly lead to his finish. Or directly lead to him getting finished. I don't think Pereira is going to have that 5-round cardio. You know, isn't it in kickboxing? Aren't they only 3-minute rounds? Somebody let me know in the chat if I'm wrong, but he's getting up there in age. He's never gone 5 rounds. He was tired in the 3rd round against Bruno Silva. I think he's going to be exhausted. I think his striking is going to get more sloppy. I think he's going to be a little bit more desperate in those 4th and 5th rounds. And I think that's what leads him to getting finished later in the fight. Smash the like button. Yes, smash the like button. Thank you, Tommy. Joey, did you see Alex's face with his paint and tribal stuff? It was so cool. I did see it, but I wouldn't categorize it as so cool. But I'm glad you liked it. I'm not saying anything was wrong with it. It's nothing that really crazy. Kai, yo, I was just hoping you start streaming, and here you are. Here I am. What's up, Blaze One Sports? Appreciate you for joining as well, and thank you for being a member. What's up, Billy? Did you see Spann look drained and miss weight? Yes, I did. Spann is massive. Spann could literally be fighting at heavyweight. Let go. What's up, Venom? Keep out. What's going on? What's at stake for the Chandler Poirier fight? If Dustin wins, would they give him another title shot? I don't think right away, but it would put him back on track and maybe 1 or 2 wins away from a title shot. But I don't think there's nothing for stake right now in particular. I think Beneil Dariush and Volkanovski are in line. But if they do give Volkanovski the title fight, they could do the winner of Chandler Poirier versus Beneil for #1 contender. I also could see the winner of Dustin and Chandler fighting Conor McGregor. I know that sounds crazy. I think Conor wants a 4th fight with Dustin. And the UFC is just crazy enough to give it to him. So, it could be a Conor McGregor fight. Someone commented, I'm just seeing a comment right now that says, Carla will shock the world tomorrow night. Yeah, I'm sure she will. My friend. That's hilarious. I was insanely looking forward to 280, but 281, I don't know. I feel regular about it. I'm actually more excited for 281 for some reason. I think it's because I hated the early start time for UFC 280. What's up again, Blaze One? With the presser being on Wednesday this week, today being a holiday, I woke up thinking the fights were today. It is kind of weird. Indeed, I don't feel the same hype as 280. You know, I personally feel more hype for 281, but I understand what you're saying. The general MMA community hype, I get what you're saying. I would say it's not as big as it was for 280. 280, everyone was stacked. Apparently there was a Dana White scrum. Dana White and scrum. We're gearing up going into next year. Now that the world, as you know, unless the world loses mind again, we're going to get out of the Apex and start traveling, not just pay-per-views, but fight nights too. So Dana White on Volkanovski wanting Islam next. Listen, if you look at what Volkanovski done, how are you going to say no to Volkanovski? You know how I feel about guys like that. They have achieved so much and defied the odds. It's tough to say no to guys like that. I'm just seeing if there's any interesting notes from this. Dana White on irregular betting activity in the Minner fight. There's absolutely zero proof that anyone was involved. Bet on it. Okay, so there's you go. That's interesting. Yeah, I don't see anything else. Alex Pereira looks jacked, that's for sure. Dana White on Leon Edwards' next fight. All the people from England started hitting me up saying, you got to do Cardiff. I always love people to give what they want or looking at. I don't see anything particularly interesting. So we'll continue on with questions, guys. We will continue on. I was just curious about any of those notes from Dana. Adesanya got angry at ESPN for showing Alex's punches and he flipped them. Where's that at? Is there somewhere to find that? What's up, Jordan? What's up, Benji? Just so you know, Trizano and Spann missed weight. Thank you for informing me. I did see that. My pre-fight nerves are so bad, I can only imagine how the fighters feel staring at a trained killer. And knowing one mistake can ruin all your months of preparation. I'm pretty hyped, I can't lie. I'm really excited because this is going to be the first time in a few months that I've just enjoyed the fight, just sitting on my sofa, watching in my living room, and then I'm going to do a post-fight afterwards. So I'm really looking forward to that, to be quite honest. And it's right around the corner. It's less than 24. It'll be in about 24 hours. We'll be staring at the main card's start time. How do you feel about Pereira taking so long to make weight? I don't feel any way. It happens all the time. Let's be honest. A loss to Talia Santos looks better than a loss to Tracy Cortez. True. Mr. Joey, why did Pereira wear a Halloween costume at weigh-ins? I don't know. You have to ask him. Hi, Joey. What's up, MMA Post? So, bro, what's going on? I appreciate you. What's good, Joey? 281. Let's go. I'm super excited, Brandon. I'm super excited. Joey, I can make thumbnails for you. I don't know. You could send me some of your work. I don't know. I mean, I've been getting good at Photoshop, so I don't know if I really need it, but you can send me some of your stuff if you want on Instagram or something, and I'll check them out. I appreciate the offer for sure. Chandler has T-Rex arms. I agree with you, but Rose is really one we should all be mad at. I think we both should be mad at both of them, honestly. If Carla doesn't get knocked out early, she's going to get pummeled bloody. She's going to get pummeled bloody until she's unconscious. Yeah, but if Weili starts to gas in the later rounds, Carla could win. I really could see that. So, but I think no matter what, Weili wins, to be honest, though. What's up, Dabrowski? Then you say it can't get any worse for Weidman. Exactly. What is the most worst face-off in the UFC? I don't know what that question means. Sounds like you can't wait till Weidman gets back. Now, I'm not rooting for him, but I do forgive him. Okay? Who you got, Ottman or Frevola? I picked Ottman. Joey, I believe Alex has developed more than Adesanya as far as kickboxing goes, considering the fact Izzy started training early and Alex started training at 23 and stayed in glory longer. We'll find out. I mean, I'm just looking at his UFC fights and his striking in his UFC fights. I think Adesanya looks far more impressive in striking in his fights against better competition. How important is it that Alex fought Izzy really early in his career? I don't know. I don't really think those fights are super relevant for how long ago they are. I'm looking at their current skill sets. I'm looking at his fight versus Bruno Silva, and I'm looking at Adesanya's recent fights. Thank you again, NKS, for the super chat. That'll be going towards my chump change. What's up, Victor? Yeah, man, I think so many people are just caught up in Izzy hate. They just want to see him lose. Yeah, and for all those people who were saying, Izzy's got gyno. Izzy's got gyno. We saw it in a picture 50 feet zoomed out on Instagram of him flexing as hard as he can. Izzy does not have gyno. That was bullshit. Anybody saying that was full of shit off of one picture on Instagram. We saw him today and people were saying, oh, well, he's hiding it. He's hiding it. He's hiding his gyno. Well, you know what, guys? You know what? Let me pull up a picture. Let me pull up a screenshot that I took of Israel Adesanya at the weigh-ins. That's him standing on the scale. I don't see no gyno there, okay? I don't see no gyno there. They look the same. So all those people saying gyno, I really believe the gyno thing is an excuse for Izzy haters to have, because they're picking Alex Pereira to KO him, and when he doesn't KO him, they're going to say, well, it's because Izzy's on gyno. It's just because Izzy's on steroids and he's got gyno. That's what it's going to be. I guarantee that after this fight. They fail to realize he was winning both their previous fights. I think it's going to make it look easy tomorrow. I agree. I think Pereira will, he'll whiff on some shots and it'll be like, holy shit, if that would have landed, it would have knocked Adesanya out. But I think for the most part, Adesanya is going to be the far superior striker. Adesanya is far more superior striker. What are you smoking? LOL on the feet. Those two men are dead even. Adesanya is not better. Adesanya's path to victory is grappling and his experience. Well, I guess you didn't watch his first two fights because Adesanya was much better, and Adesanya's only gotten better on the feet since then. So you can have your own opinion, but I vehemently disagree with you. I'd love to see another exciting competitive Izzy fight similar to when he fought Gastelum, or at the very least a finish. Yeah, I agree. I'm with you on that one. If either Izzy or Pereira lights the other up, it's going to be one hell of a hand job all over the face too. I don't know what you mean by that. What's up, Illinois? Which underdog out of the top 3 fights do you think has the best chance of winning? It's got to be, is Chandler an underdog? I'm assuming it's Chandler. Could they do Dustin versus Chandler, winner versus Charles? Maybe, but probably not. They both already fought Charles. So I doubt they're going to make a Charles versus Dustin, 2, and a Charles versus Chandler 2. I highly doubt that. But it's possible. I guess it's possible. I wouldn't mind seeing Chandler Charles 2, now that you say it. Joey, how is your evening? My evening is very, very good. I'm looking forward to the fights tomorrow. And I'm mad I just spilled something on my shirt. I spilled a little bit of water on my shirt, but it is what it is. It might not even been water. It might have been, it's still water, condensation from my bottle that fell down. Let's continue on. 280 was a slight disappointment to me after the event. Yeah, the TJ injury combined with the Sean O'Malley terrible decision was kind of a disappointment. Adesanya walkout song tomorrow going to be from the movie Saw. Where'd you find this out at? I would love to know. I would love to know where you found that out, but we'll find out. I don't want to see another WWE style entrance for him to go out there and put on, a real shit stain of a performance. But you never know. You never know. And I think the Undertaker performance was so cringe. Because he went out there, he walked out with the urn and was trying to put on like this huge oh, I'm going to go out there and I don't care about the belt. I'm going out there to show out. And then he put on that shit performance against Jarrett Cannonier. Disgusting. Joey, on paper, what's the best MSG card we've had? What's the worst? I don't remember all of them. But probably the Conor Eddie Alvarez card was the most stacked. No, it's probably the GSP Bisping card was the best. The worst one is got to be the Derek Lewis DC card. Off the top of my head without actually looking them up and comparing them. DC Derek Lewis is probably the worst card at MSG. Weili's going to take away the wedding gift that Rose and her uncle Pat Barry gave her after the lumping on her face. Yeah, I guess so. I think Weili wrecks her badly. I think Weili wrecks her badly in the first round. And let me go look. Let me go look real quick at my poll results. I did a poll for all three of the top 3 fights on the community tab. 68% are picking Poirier. 88% are picking Weili Zhang. I don't know what that 12% is thinking that's picking Carla. And 51% of people, 1,200 votes in, are picking Alex Pereira. That's crazy. Did they even watch him strike? Did they watch him strike against Bruno Silva? That's shocking to me that 51% is picking him. 51% is picking Alex Pereira of the people who watch the channel. It's pretty crazy that Cowboy retired on the last Izzy card, and now Frankie Edgar is going to retire on this Izzy card. That is an astute observation. What's up, Joey? My girlfriend says, what's up? Tell your imaginary girlfriend I said, what's up? I see the first 3 rounds being close, then Izzy pulls away. I think the first 3 rounds will be competitive, but I think Izzy will be like clearly up. I don't believe that it's going to be like super close, like toss up rounds. I think that Izzy striking is just going to be far superior. So hold on one second. Let me just fix that a little bit. Let me fix my mic a little bit. I can't see the chat. Keep the questions coming, guys. If you have not liked the stream, do me a favor and like the stream. I would greatly appreciate it. If you're watching this stream right now and you haven't liked it, then why are you even still here? And if you're watching this stream right now and you're not subscribed, you need to subscribe. I do this before every single pay-per-view. We're almost at 6,000 subscribers. We are exactly 133 subscribers away from 6,000. So go subscribe to the channel. But yeah, I think the first few rounds will be competitive, but I think Izzy will be clearly winning the rounds. I don't think they'll be up for debate. But then again, the Sean O'Malley Piotr Jan rounds weren't up for debate either, and somehow he pulled it off. And I think Izzy just finishes him. I think the writing's going to be on the wall. The momentum is going to be shifting towards Izzy, and Izzy gets it done in the later rounds. I'd rather see Fiziev versus Dustin Chandler winner personally. I want to see Fiziev versus Gaethje or Fiziev versus Conor, honestly. Would you rather see Molly go up and wait and fight Pena or down to fight Carla? I don't really want to see Molly fight anyone, so I think she's a straight up bum, and she's beat up a couple other bums, and she's riding the coattails of the popularity of Paddy Pimblett, to be quite honest. Chandler almost beat Oliveira and could beat him. Will you say Oliveira has problems fighting wrestlers? I don't understand what the question is there. Chandler didn't beat him with the wrestling, though. Chandler must beat him with the power. So, I don't know. Tony Kelly, Grant Dawson, Full Send Reporter, all in a room. Who's getting slapped? All 3 of them? I'd slap all 3 of them. Tony Kelly probably whooped my ass, though. You know, Grant Dawson probably grappled me to death, choke me out cold. Full Send Reporter ain't going to do nothing. Do you think Spann can beat Reyes? Skill for skill? Absolutely not. But Spann does have nasty power. So he could get it done with just a wild looping shot. If Reyes ends up breaking his nose in the first round, oh my goodness. It's downhill from there. Pereira going to win. We will see. I don't think so, but we will see. I'm pretty confident in my Adesanya pick. You know, I'm not saying this fight's 50-50. On a scale from, or I'll give you a percentage. Let me go over the notable fights again, and I'll give you a confidence percentage. I got Israel Adesanya. I would say I'm feeling like a 75 to 80% confidence level in that. Maybe that's a video I need to start doing like on a Thursday or Friday, the week of the fight after I get all my predictions done, go through and say, you know, hey, these are my confidence levels in these fights. Carla Esparza, Weili Zhang. I'm like 95% confident in Weili Zhang. Dustin Poirier, Michael Chandler. I'm probably sitting at like a 65, 70% confidence in Dustin Poirier getting it done. Frankie Edgar, Chris Gutierrez. I'm like a 55% confident in Frankie Edgar getting it done. Dan Hooker, Claudio Puelles. Really, you know, skill for skill, there's no reason that Dan Hooker shouldn't win that fight. But I still am a little bit worried just because of how much damage he's taken recently. So for that one, I'll say I'm at like a 65% for Dan Hooker. I'm confident, but not that confident. Brad Riddell, Renato Moicano, I'm 50-50 on that one. Dominic Reyes, Ryan Spann, I'm like 75% confident, Dominic Reyes. Aaron Blanchfield, Molly McCann, I'm like, I'll say 80% confident, 85% confident in Aaron Blanchfield. Petroski, Turman, that's like 50-50. I'll say I'm like 55% confident in Petroski. For Ottman Azaitar, Matt Frevola, I'm like 70% confident in Azaitar. Carolina Kovalevich, Silvina Gomez, Juarez, 50-50. Everything else is 50-50. Everything else is 50-50 after that. So it's going to be interesting. It's going to be very, very, very interesting. And I look forward to jumping on a post-fight tomorrow evening with you guys. Live, immediately following the events. Let me know in the chat. Are you going to be here for a 1 a.m. Eastern live post-fight tomorrow, immediately following the fights? Let me know in the chat, yes or no. Will you be here tomorrow evening? Pereira going to win. Not going to lie, the way UFC been, I got Izzy, but if Alex wins, it's because of bad judging. Could you imagine we get a robbery decision for Pereira? Like a bad one like Jan O'Malley? There's more and more I think of it. I think you're right, Izzy finishes Alex late. Yeah, I really am pretty confident in that pick. I don't know that Izzy murks Pereira. I think he outpoints him to a win. If there's a knockout, it's going to be Pereira. We'll see. We'll see. If the judges rob Frankie Edgar on his retirement fight, I'd be downright heated. I think a lot of people would. I want to see Poirier versus Fiziev. That would be a competitive striking bout. Yeah. But I want to see Fiziev versus Gaethje right now. What made you predict Oliveira going to beat Islam by guillotine? I did not predict that. So you're thinking of somebody else, I guess. That was my early prediction, but I changed it in my official prediction. Gaethje returning March, most likely. If that's the case, Gaethje Fiziev should be announced in 1 to 2 months. I think that's the fight to make. Molly does have some legit striking, but she's getting more attention. She doesn't have legit striking. She's a brawler. She's a brawler with some okay power for the women's flyweight division. Patty's going to be here. Jordan's going to be here. Niles, what's up? Sorry I'm late. Just got dinner. Appreciate you joining nonetheless. Every Friday before a big UFC pay-per-view, I will be doing a pre-fight stream. Every Friday before every UFC pay-per-view, I'll be doing a big pre-fight stream. A long pre-fight stream. I said big fight stream. Me and my main girl will be here tomorrow, Joey. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. You and your imaginary girlfriend watching the stream, okay? Maybe she's not imaginary, but maybe you need a pump to create her. Joey, my wife is getting induced at 7 a.m. tomorrow. I might miss 281, and I'm ready to watch in the hospital. Well, I wish you the best of luck. That's unfortunate timing. I tell her to reschedule that, and that being induced, the fights are on. You're going to have to wait till Sunday. What's up, Joey? MMA fam. I missed the last couple. What's going on? What's going on, Vince? I hope you're doing well. Yes, we'll be here tomorrow evening. Mukhtar, always in the streams. Always in the streams. For sure, I'll be here. Thank you, Victor. What's the minimum weight needed for an untrained man to beat Mighty Mouse? I mean, most of them are going to get submitted, so probably none. My stream lags, but if there's a post-fight stream, I'll be there. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Molly needs some good coaching, and maybe a makeover can help. I don't know what the makeover's for, but okay. At the ceremony weigh-ins live stream, I kept typing MMA Joe. You know, somebody actually sent me a screenshot of that, Vince. I forgot about that. Somebody sent me a screenshot. Said some guy keeps typing your name in the ceremony weigh-ins. That's hilarious. I appreciate the support. Appreciate the free promotion. As long as we're not getting something else in there, something crazy. Damn, Joey, I don't know what that's about, but thank you. What is your favorite fight you have ever watched? There's so many great fights. It's really hard to just pick one that you loved. And this one's recency bias, but I really love Yuri Prochazka Glover Teixeira 1. It's hard to believe we're about to be at the rematch. But that first fight was incredible. Other fights, I really enjoyed Jose Aldo Chad Mendes 2. I enjoyed Conor McGregor Nate Diaz 2. I enjoyed the Eddie Alvarez Michael Chandler fights. Israel Adesanya versus Kelvin Gastelum was good. Robbie Lawler versus Roy McDonald 2, I believe it was 2. There's so many great fights. Off the top of my head, there's some of the best ones. Chael Sonnen and Anderson Silva 1. Very good. Joe, if I was stranded outside in the snow tomorrow night, would you come pick me up even if Dustin versus Chandler would about to start? I'd call the fire department and send them for you. So, or you'd have to wait 20 minutes. You have to wait until the fights was over, and then I'd come pick you up. But if not, I'd call the fire department for you. They come get you. Should Hooker move to 170 like Burns, Masvidal, and RDA? Go from moving to 45 to now moving to 170. I don't think he's going to be successful at 170, but maybe. Do you think Carlos Ulberg can go far? Probably not. No, I don't think so. I'm not very high on him. That's funny you saw it now. I kept it respectful. Hey, I appreciate the promotion, my friend. I appreciate any and all promotion. So thank you very, very much. That is pretty funny, though, that somebody saw that and sent it to me. And I was like, oh, damn, Vince. Vince is a true supporter. Vince is a true supporter. Bitsy, thank you for the $10 super chat. For the new computer, my guy. Thank you very much. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. I'm buying a new computer in the next month or two, and I'm getting like a top of the line, like something I can render 8K videos on in a couple years. So I appreciate your donation. We were talking about it the other day. I appreciate your super chat. It will definitely be going towards it because I'm buying something super expensive. So anything in the next year is probably going to be going towards it because it's going to cost a lot. So thank you. Appreciate your donation, Bitsy. I really do. Thank you for the old $10 holla, as Beside You would be saying. Beside You, if you're still in here, how are you doing, man? I just remember you sent a message earlier, but I hope you were doing well. Cejudo Moraes was a low-key great fight. Yeah, I thought Moraes was going to absolutely destroy him. And he was winning early. I was very confident Moraes was going to win that fight, but he just gassed. Hell nah, he will be out-wrestled. Who are you talking about there? What's the most bloody fight you've seen? Bigfoot Silva, Cain Velasquez. I can't remember if it was 1 or 2. MMA Joey's Dark Empire is growing. Soon Dana White and his Jedi will not be able to stop the takeover of their Sith Lord. All right, I'm your Sith Lord. I appreciate it. Did you release your full predictions for 281? I went the entire beginning, the entire first like 30, 40 minutes of the stream is every single prediction I have for UFC 281. What do you do for a living? Work in construction. Will you do a watch along tomorrow? No, I'm skipping a watch along tomorrow. But I will be doing a live post fight immediately following the fights. And now my nose is itching yet again because my mustache is tickling it. During the weigh-ins, Alex and Izzy didn't face off after they were done stepping on the scale. Have you ever seen that before? You know, I watched and I didn't even notice it. I thought they did face off. Are you sure they didn't face off? I think you're wrong. I'm pretty sure I watched it. How would I not notice that? I think you're wrong, my friend. But maybe I'm thinking of something else. They faced off, dude. What are you talking about? I'm looking at it right now. 20 minutes and 2 seconds timestamp of the weigh-ins. So I don't know what you're talking about. That's very befuddling. Hey, Joey, McGregor Oliveira was just no. That's not true. That's fake. That is fake Leo art. That is fake, fake, fake. Sorry you got bamboozled. Twitter has gone to absolute shit now. Anybody can have a blue check next to their name. So now people are buying the blue check, pretending to be Ariel Helwani, and tweeting out fake news. It's super unfortunate. I saw that too. And it's actually really annoying that this is going on. Why can you buy being verified so you can pretend to be anyone you want? It's so dumb. It actually ruins, because I follow mostly MMA media members on Twitter. So it's really annoying. What are your thoughts about Power Slap? I think it's the dumbest fucking thing I ever heard of in my entire life. And I want to slap whoever thought that was a good idea. I mean, who's watching that? Who's watching that? Ross Houston versus Nicholas Dalby was so bloody. I don't even remember that one, to be honest. I'll be here for the post-fight. They did face off. Appreciate you, Niles. Gas station for lunch? Absolutely not. Alex looked like he was in Apocalypto. Yeah, he did look pretty crazy in that get-up. Did you post a prediction circled on IG? I really think Chandler's going to win. Not yet. I will be posting that tomorrow. That'll get posted tomorrow. But just real quick, since you're a good supporter of the channel, I'll tell you who I picked. I have taken. Why is it not showing me my predictions? Okay. I took Ulberg, Arce, Choi, Juarez, Azaitar, Petroski, Blanchfield, Reyes, Riddell, Hooker, Edgar, Poirier, Zhang, and Adesanya. So there you go. Real quick. Did you see the video of Alex Pereira standing next to someone in Elsa costume mocking Izzy for the frozen like Elsa costume? I seen a picture of it, but I didn't watch the video itself. I like the room decorations. Is there something new? But appreciate you nonetheless. They suspended Twitter Blue subscriptions for now, but the damage has already been done. Dude, it was so dumb. Who thought that was a good idea? I just don't get that. It made no sense for me from the beginning. So if you can pay to get verified, what's the point of even being verified? How does that make any sense? I'm done. MMA Mania just got retweeted in my stream. UFC star Sean O'Malley had stem cells injected into his wiener. Petty. Petty, 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 petty. What's a prediction you had that no one else had that turned out to be right? I picked TJ Dillashaw to beat Renan Barão in the first fight. I picked Nate Diaz to beat Conor McGregor in the first fight. Honestly, I don't want to say nobody had this, but it wasn't like a wildly prediction. It wasn't like most people were picking Woodley. I picked Kamaru Usman to beat Woodley. I'm trying to think. I think the TJ over Renan Barão in the first one was probably one of my best. The Nate Diaz over Conor in the first one. And I wasn't just picking him fanboying. I thought he was a nightmare matchup stylistically wise for Conor, and that's why I picked him. And I even picked the exact method and round as well. If I would have had a YouTube channel then, it probably would have got me 100,000 subscribers because it would have blown up afterwards. It would have been dead accurate. I still have a tweet, an old tweet screenshot. I'm trying to think of another one where no one had that prediction and I predicted it. I can't think of any, but there's a couple of them. Did you hear Conor versus Francis is headlining 290? Oh, yeah. I'm surprised they did Power Slap before Zuffa boxing. I think all the shit's corny. Anything to make a buck nowadays. Yeah, I'm waiting with Arce. I'm not super confident in that one. Cool, thanks, bro. Yeah, Power Slap is dumbass shit. Do you know anything if Chito's going to fight O'Malley or Aljo? There has been no official announcement. I will probably be making a video about that Monday or Tuesday because I have my own personal theory about what I believe will happen. And honestly, I think it'll be a video that'll be really compelling. It's all speculation, but it'll be a very compelling video. But yeah, anybody, for me, and we've talked about this before on the channel, the majority of people that watch MMA and watch the UFC are young males, ages, 18 to 35 or whatever, whatever the demographic is exactly, but it's young males primarily. And I just think they insult our intelligence. And I understand that it works with the constant betting ads, with the constant crypto ads, with the constant NFT ads. And now They want to try to get us to watch the Power Slap League. If you like me at all, if you respect me at all, if you're a fan of this channel at all, I beg of you, unless you absolutely have to and you're such a big fan, don't watch that bullshit. Let it fizzle out. I'm never going to talk about it other than like vaguely like this, just shitting on it. It's just stupid. It's stupid. It's worthless. And it's just another way that the UFC is trying to monetize their young male base. And it's really an insult to our intelligence, in my personal opinion. And I'm personally offended that the UFC thinks, oh yeah, these guys will definitely like some slapping around. Oh yeah, I can't wait to sell these guys. I mean, I know it's not a pay-per-view, at least as far as I know. But it's just garbage. It's just garbage. I'm not watching that garbage. Joey, do you know why Alex and Izzy didn't face off after They did. They did, Vince. They did. Go watch it. Chito Vera and Sean O'Malley early prediction, if it was 5 rounds. I lean Chito Vera, but I think Sean O'Malley would look very good in that fight. I think Chito would just find the finish. Why do you think Dustin beats Chandler? I think he's got better hands. I think he's more durable, has better stamina. There you go. And a better chin. So many keyboard fondlers furious about dudes who chose to smack faces. Isn't watching optional? I have not yet seen one person furious about it, so I can't comment on it. I've not met one person or heard one person say they are furious about it. I've heard people say it's fucking stupid, which it is. And hopefully nobody watches it and it goes away forever. But I haven't met anyone or heard anyone that's furious about it. So if they are, that's a very weird take to have. Any Francis news? I have not seen any Francis Ngannou news. Nothing. There really hasn't been hold on one second, guys. There really hasn't been any news this week. I mean, I guess it's been all UFC 281 UFC 281 coverage, really. UFC Dana White happy. Good man Cain Velasquez released on bail. That's Dana White Power Slap League to air on TBS. Calvin Kattar tears his ACL. Robert Whitaker jokes that he hopes Israel and Alex Pereira never come back the same after 281. Dustin Poirier says it sucks he never got to fight Nate Diaz. So there's really nothing interesting going on. Or be on the websites. I did watch it. How did I miss it? My bad. I missed the answer the first time. Well, you must be missing a lot. You must be missing a lot, my friend, because they both did, and I answered it for you. Well, so you're not paying attention to the stream. You're not paying attention to weigh-ins. You must be too worried about Power Slap League, would be my guess, is what you're worried about. Guys, keep the questions coming. If you have not liked the stream yet, like the stream. I would greatly appreciate it. If you want to donate to my pay-per-view fund, like NKS just did, feel free. Thank you for the $5, NKS, a constant donator on the channel. Joey, I got an international conference in Sweden to present a paper at, so I don't know if I'll be around the next few days. Here's chump change for your PC. I appreciate you, NKS. I hope you have a good conference in Sweden. Are you going to be here for the post-fight tomorrow night or no? But either way, my man's donating for future streams that he'll miss. I hope you have a good time presenting your paper. Now I'm kind of interested. I want to go to Sweden, man. Are you from Sweden or are you from somewhere else? So I'm curious. If you don't know with the weigh-ins, they showed only Alex's punches. Oh, I didn't know that. I wasn't really paying that close of attention. Thank you, NKS, again for the $5 super chat. Hey, Joey, hope you don't mind me asking, does your fiance watch fight cards with you whenever you're not streaming? Yes, she watches them when I am streaming. So when I am streaming, she's watching them and the stream as well. So she's actually a mod on the channel. You don't see her. She doesn't participate in the chat. But if she watches the fights downstairs, she watches with my stream on her iPad as well. Who do you think will be heavier tomorrow and by how many pounds roughly for this main event? I lean Alex Pereira, but probably only by like 5 or 10 pounds maybe. Who do you think won Nate versus Connor 2? I thought Nate clearly won. It was a close fight though. But I thought Nate won. What's up, Sam? Power slap is instantaneous action. Could have potential to create some characters. Well, you enjoy those characters, my friend. Slapping each other around a little bit. You know, it's kind of interesting, I guess. I mean, each their own. I hope you enjoy it. I hope you enjoy it. You know, don't let me shit in your cereal, okay? When it comes to Power Slap League, you know, to each their own. How does Marlon Moraes versus Cody Garbrandt go in Power Slap? Whoever slaps first, the person who gets slapped gets KO'd. Apparently, Pereira waited all that time in the weigh-ins to troll the fans. Maybe he did. Or maybe he's just covering up for something else. There's a deeper conspiracy. Alex Pereira was using some type of banned substance to cut his weight the last few seconds. Oh, okay. I did see this question. Who do you think gives John Jones the most issues in the top 5 at heavyweight? Toughest matchup, probably Curtis Blades. Then Francis Ngannou just because of the power. Then Cyril Gane. And then, I guess, Stipe somewhere in there along with Tom Aspinall. Magomed Ankalaev versus John Jones. I take John Jones all day, but John Jones is never, ever, ever going back down to light heavyweight. Joey, my bet comes down to you, bro. Alex decision? Is that split decision? Or Izzy finish? It's my final pick for my parlay. I would definitely go Izzy finish over Alex split decision. I'm picking Izzy by finish. So, LOL, I'm not from Sweden. I'm from India. I live at DC, but I'm an international law and court scholar. So you live in, are you talking about, you live in Washington, DC? Is that what you're saying? So you're not even that far from me. You're not that far from me. It was a close fight, though. I thought Nate won 2, 3-2. I don't remember what rounds I gave what, but I rewatched it in the last 6 months. So it was a close fight. Okay, read that. Haha, respect as well. It's comical bar background entertainment. Yeah, I guess so. I can't imagine like spending my evening tuning. I got to tune into Power Slap League. I feel the judges genuinely don't like to give out draws to fights, honestly. But honestly, they should. Some fights are just too close to really call. They're scoring round by round. So it's not like at the end of the fight, they're like, oh, that was a draw. They're scoring round by round. That's how it works. So I don't think I don't think the thought of, oh, I can't give this a draw. Think Yuri would give Bones an issue if he stuck around? No. Jones would have took him down and dominated him on the ground. Bet Lamau, my bet is GUI finish. GUI finish. Oh, Gutierrez finish, DP finish, and Izzy finish. Dude, I think that's a good bet. I didn't pick Gutierrez, but I think he could. Do you have Hamzat will be double champ? No, but it's possible. Joey, if I got kidnapped by the mob and the only way I could be saved was for you to fight Francis and Power Slap, would you do it? Jeez Louise, dude. I don't know. It depends. After I save you, do you donate another $300 donation? Then if so, yes, I'll take the slap. But I'm losing on the first slap. I'm not competing for long. Does Hamzat fight at 170 or 185 for his next fight? 170 for sure. I used to practice, but right now I teach. And oh, you're talking to Vince. Well, best of luck with your paper in Sweden. They better have hot chicks and slap fighting. I don't know what's gonna go on there. Didn't Pereira have face paint on in the face off? Yes. Are you in Virginia? No, I'm in Maryland. I'm in Maryland. So there you go. Now you know my location. I mean, people, I've answered that a million times. I'm not scared. It's not like I'm giving blatantly. I mean, I've given pretty specific information before. It is what it is. Where is someone gonna come find me? Someone's gonna come find me in Maryland. They're gonna end up like Colby Covington outside that restaurant. I'm at 6'6" and could easily sub Ngannou. So, Joey, if Derek was to get kidnapped by the mob, would you rather get power slapped by Francis or admit Sugar beat Jan? Admit means that it's accurate. But if the answer is, would you rather get power slapped by Francis or lie and say Sugar beat Jan? I'd rather get slapped by Francis because I am not a liar. That's not what I am. Do you watch any other sports or is it just MMA? I watch a little bit of football, a decent amount of football, and I watch a tiny bit of baseball, and that's pretty much it. Who should Henry Cejudo fight next? I think Henry Cejudo versus Aljamain Sterling is the fight to make, to be quite honest. I mean, Henry Cejudo never lost a belt, so Aljamain Sterling is the champ, so why not book it? Why not book it, guys? I think that's what you got to make. Give Cejudo a title shot. Let him dethrone Aljamain Sterling, who no one wants. No one wants. Okay. In Annapolis, no. Anyone at 170 could be really successful at 185. I mean, I think Hamzat could have some success, but I don't think anyone would be like super successful from 170 at 185. What part of Maryland do you live in? Baltimore. I think Henry beats Aljo easy. I like how this guy just jumped in to ask that. He's not asked a single other question. He just wants to know my location. It's kind of creepy, but it is what it is. I think Henry beats Aljo easy. I agree. Henry has much better striking, and Aljo's not taking him down. So, I'm going Henry Cejudo in that fight. Thoughts on Holland versus Burns matchup? I think Burns easily out-grapples him and submits him. Yeah, I think Henry versus Aljo and Cheetah versus Sean would be some great matchups. I agree 100%. I think those are the fights to make. Are crabs in Maryland as good as they say? Yes. Well, for me, I steam my own when I buy them, and I think they're amazing. The Triple C post, the only thing Sean O'Malley wrestles with is his sexuality. Okay, that's interesting. I keep forgetting Dom Reyes versus Ryan Spann is on the prelims tomorrow. Yep, that's a solid prelim. I'm really looking forward to that fight. You know what's crazy, guys? Let me actually get rid of some of these tabs real quick. Too many tabs open. But let me go to my channel real quick. You guys aren't going to believe my most viewed UFC 281 prediction. Okay. UFC 281 predictions. My last 8 videos are UFC 281 predictions, okay? My most viewed UFC 281 prediction video is Aaron Blanchfield versus Molly McCann. My second most viewed UFC 281 prediction video is Dan Hooker versus Claudio Puelles. My third most viewed is Dustin Poirier versus Michael Chandler. My fourth most viewed is Adesanya Pereira. My fifth most viewed is Reyes Spann. My sixth most viewed is Frankie Edgar versus Chris Gutierrez. And then Esparza Zhang and Riddell versus Moicano have the same amount of views. But I have 4,000 views on my Aaron Blanchfield Molly McCann video. So appreciate you guys for watching all of them. They've all gone over 1,000. Most of them are close to 2,000. So I'm happy. I'm very happy with what those prediction videos did. Especially considering I did some of the fights that I feel like I knew no one would do video like full breakdown and prediction videos for. So some guy commented on my Dan Hooker Puelles video and said, my guy got a mustache above and below his lips. That I do got 2 mustaches, guys. I do got 2 mustaches. There you go. I got one upside down one. That is hilarious. I'm dying. I got to go respond to that guy. I hearted his comment. And I'm going to respond with some laughing faces. That was 1 hour ago. Radio enemy. Radio enemy. Dude hasn't posted in 2 years, but he's got his own channel, I guess. Let's see if I got any funny comments. Nope. I don't have any funny comments which were flagged for review by YouTube. So, Joe, you said you'd be open to doing some video game streams. Any specific games? I have no idea. I haven't even thought that far yet. But if I get my PC, I want to make the best of it. So, I'll probably like start maybe, I don't know, I guess maybe a second channel. I don't know if I want to start like a gaming YouTube channel because I'm not really good at gaming. But maybe just for fun, I'll have like a second channel where I'll do like gaming streams or something if I do get my new PC. So keep donating to the channel. Every dollar, I've spent more money on my channel. And especially once I buy my computer, I will have spent more money on my channel than I've made so far. But I plan on making it back in the next 2 years. The crabs in Vegas sucks. Takes weeks to get rid of, I could imagine. Is Dana White looking for ideas? Because... All right, Joey, I know you have wisdom and can help me understand stuff better of your experience in watching combat TV for long. What is the point of Power Slap? I have a follow-up question. Is Dana White looking for ideas because I have nasty farts? I don't even know what you're getting at, bro, but there is no point to it. Scabies are the worst. Okay. Cejudo called Cheeto a pussy on Twitter. Who would you pick in that fight? I'd pick Cejudo. He'd out-wrestle Cheeto, unfortunately. How far do you think Patty can go till he gets schooled? Not very far. He's not making it into that top 15. I'll tell you that much right now. Patty Pimlet is not very good. And unless he drastically improves in the near future, the UFC is going to have to protect him like crazy if they want him to win. My water bottle is sweating like crazy. I guess because it was cold and it was hot. I looked like an idiot taking a drink out of my water bottle, but I didn't want it dripping all over me. How are views counted on YouTube? I think you have to watch for over 30 seconds or something. I'm not sure. We call that savor the flavor below the lip. Okay? Never change, Joey. I like your authenticity. I never get on here and play some weird character. Like, you know, there's people on YouTube who like to play a character. And just, you know, just when you get on in front of a camera, you start to act different a little bit, I think. Or at least some people do. That'll never be me. The person you see on this stream right here is exactly how I would talk to you in real life. So, I will never, you couldn't pay me enough to sit here and give you guys like fake opinions to like, even if I knew I could garner like massive support with fake opinions, I couldn't do it. I wouldn't be able to sleep at night. That's just the way I am. But thank you for the compliment. I'll take it as a compliment. You could do UFC game. I'm not buying any EA Sports video games. Fuck EA Sports. It's the worst gaming developer company ever. I hate EA Sports. Does Jiri hopefully make easy work of Lover this time? I'm going to say yes. Patty just does not have the time to make drastic improvements. Yeah, he's not like 20 years old. He's almost 30. I don't know, man. I don't know. I wasn't specifying anybody. I'm not saying anybody's doing, but a lot of people, when they do get in front of a camera, they start to act different. What do you think the odds are Dana tries to get one of the Diaz brothers to do slap fighting? Hopefully 0. I'm going to say 0. Patty could make it to the top 15 with favorable matchups. I mean, I guess, yeah, if they give him favorable matchups and then the rankings are bullshit. Yeah, I think Patty could, if they move him correctly, like for instance, Puelles beat Hooker and gets ranked 15. I think, honestly, Patty beats him. Nah, I don't think Patty's even beating Puelles. Joey, what are your thoughts on Gaethje Fiziev? I think Fiziev brutally TKOs Gaethje badly. THQ made better MMA games. Agreed 100%. I mean, THQ's games from 10 years ago are better than UFC 4 from EA Sports now, which is crazy. Nor does Ian Gary have time to drastically improve. England just does not have the sporting culture. Oh, what is this? Hold on one second, guys. Does not have the sporting culture to do well at MMA because those guys don't wrestle. Maybe so. Can you explain why you hate EA Sports? They're literally one of the worst companies ever. They never improve any of their games. They just have monopolies over those games, and they sell the same shit every single year, and they don't care about their product. The UFC games have been god awful for. I mean, when did UFC? Let's see, UFC THQ 3. UFC THQ 3 came out in 2012. And then when did UFC 4 EA Sports come out? EA UFC 4 release date. Let's see. It came out in 2020. So 8 years different, 2 generations different. EA Sports does nothing. Madden's just a roster update. Madden's had the same issues for literally 10 years. I used to be a massive Madden fan, but then eventually I said I can't support this anymore. They'll introduce features one year, they'll take it away the following year, and then they'll reintroduce it as the following year as another new feature. They introduce constant microtransactions in every game. At one point, I think let me Google this. EA Sports worst company in America. Yeah, in 2012, Consumerists awarded EA Sports with the title of worst company in America, along with the ceremonial Golden Poo Trophy. The record-breaking poll in more than 250,000 votes and saw EA beating out regulars such as AT&T and Walmart. Yeah, so EA Sports is garbage. From what I understand, they've been ranked the worst company quite a few years. So they're literally terrible. They've ruined a bunch of great games. I hate EA Sports with a burning passion. Like the day EA Sports closes down, I'll be happy as hell. Like if I was a billionaire, I'd buy EA Sports and close it down my damn self. And anyone that's played their games for any extended period of time knows exactly what I'm talking about. Patty will call out Ilia Topuria had he won. I think he can take him. What do you think? He'll never call out Ilia Topuria. Topuria has a size disadvantage. I think Topuria will smoke him badly. Thoughts on Gaethje saying he got in a bike accident right before Charles' fight? I mean, it is what it is. What can we say? What can we say? I mean, I'm glad he didn't make an excuse. I'm drinking water looking like I'm an idiot because I'm trying. The bottle is just sweating like crazy. I'm trying not to have it drip all over me. Poor Esparza, she's going to get booed for her walkout. She's going to get booed in her walkout, then she's going to get wrecked by Weili Zhang, and then gone. I hate how Fiziev isn't active. I mean, he's had issues, man. He's had a lot of pullouts. But he fought twice in 2021, fought twice in 2020, fought once in 2022. That sucks. But he was supposed to fight for months, and the fight kept getting canceled. I can't remember if he had injuries or what. But yeah, I wish he was more active as well. I didn't see the video. I think Carla gets starched not later than the second. I think she gets starched brutally in the first round. I didn't see okay, NBA 2K isn't all that either. Yeah, probably not. Do you think Shavkat versus Hamza is a close fight? Yes. That's a fight I would love to see. Could you imagine they booked that? He's never been active? Okay, fair enough. Gaethje said he had road rash, etc. I didn't see anything on his body irregular versus Charles. Yeah, I don't remember anything either. But maybe he healed up at that point. I don't know. I love how Zhang is turning into a fan favorite for this fight. I love Weili Zhang. She's my favorite female fighter, honestly. Pullouts, pause, okay. UFC 4 is horrible. Every EA UFC game has been horrible. I mean, they don't have animations that THQ was able to put in their 8 years ago, which is crazy. And no referee interaction the last I saw. Just a roster update every year, basically for $70. Someone needs to donate to Esparza a box of tissues and a feel-good cookie for the aftermath. Yeah, I agree. DC was saying the last time a fighter was fast-tracked to a title before Pereira was Izzy, and Yuri was fast-tracked too. That is true. That is true. I'm moving apartments. Any advice on moving furniture? Don't. I hate moving furniture, so I don't know. Get some friends to help you move it. Usually fights every 6 months. That's not that bad. Fazeev. Yeah, I wish he was more active, though. I miss the days when fighters used to fight 3 or 4 times a year. Is Khamzat versus Bilal a good fight? Yes, I would love to see that matchup. But I want to see Khamzat fight Colby. That's the fight to make. What truck would you use to move furniture if you didn't have one? I don't know. I mean, depends how much furniture you have to move. I guess you'd rent a U-Haul. Are you a Halo fan? I'm not like some big Halo fan. I've played it before, though. Carla's claiming GOAT status, even though she's a 2-time champion. It's garbage. She won the most boring title fight in history. She's really claiming GOAT status? Don't lie to me, Vince. You're saying they didn't face off in the stare downs. I find it hard to believe Carla Esparza is claiming GOAT status. It's going to be weird if Alex wins because I see him losing the belt in his first title defense against Rob, then plummeting from there. Yeah, I said earlier, I don't know if you were here or not, as fast as his rise was, I see his fall being equally as fast. I mean, if Adesanya beats him, he's not competing with Vettori or Whitaker in the top of the division. So unless the UFC gives him some more selective matchups, I think Alex Pereira is not going to hang around for that long. He got fast-tracked to the title. And I don't think, he can survive against some of these grapplers. Tacoma or F-150, the best trucks, okay. See, I don't know if I'd say Yuri was fast-tracked to the title. He'd been fighting for so long and was a champion a year. Yeah, but in the UFC, he was fast-tracked. 2 fights in the UFC. What's up, Pine? Hope you're doing well. I hope Molly beats the piss out of I hope Molly gets the piss beat out of her. I can't stand Molly. Stop hating on DC. Best commentator. Him and Uncle Chael are the best. He's hurt. Yeah, I mean, I would consider it if that came with like a $20 donation. I would think about it, but just a random message, nah. I know you want to see Khamzat versus Colby, but Colby already lost to Polyana Viana's figure. He's coming off a loss and needs a win before facing Khamzat. That is true. That is true. Maybe we'll book him against Michelle Pajeda. Did you see the last Chinese who tried to beat Carla Esparza? Yeah, I did, but that's nowhere near as good as Yan Xiaonan is nowhere near as good as Weili Zhang. I think Alex goes to 205, less grapplers. Magomed Ankalaev, you know what he would do to Alex Pereira? She didn't say GOAT exactly. She said she cemented her legacy. I paraphrased a bit. Cement your legacy and call yourself the GOAT is a lot different. Anderson was fast-tracked too. Well, I wasn't watching when Anderson first got the belt, so I wouldn't know. Don't dare me? Okay. Who is the best rising middleweight? I'll say Nasruddin Imavov, but it could be Andre Muniz as well. If Alex Pereira gets a title shot, 3 wins, then so will Bo Nickel. Stop it. Stop it. Bo Nickel's been beating up trash cans and grocery store cashiers for how long now? And we're already talking about giving him a title shot. Stop it. Everyone has an opinion. I can't stand DC and Chael make shit up. Chael's funny at times. Yeah, I don't like either one of them. Drinking game where you take a shot every time Brandon Fitzgerald says nevertheless during a live broadcast. Now that you say it, he kind of does say that quite a bit. Thoughts on the Megan Anderson, James Krause drama? I don't really have any thoughts on it. Honestly, I couldn't give a fuck about that. I mean, people are like, ooh, Twitter drama. I'm not 12 years old, okay? I'm not 15 years old anymore. Little dumb drama like that doesn't really affect anything. I'm not like, oh my God, can you believe she said this? Can you believe she said that? It's mildly interesting, but it's nothing that makes me want to discuss it in any real capacity. So I don't really have any thoughts on it. Yan Xiaonan looked good against Mackenzie Dern. That she did. I'm not saying she's bad, but I'm saying Weili Zhang's much better. If I'm Alex, his best route is to beat Izzy, challenge Yuri for the 205 belt, and if he wins, leave. Dude, I think Yuri wrecks him badly too, but Yuri is super reckless on the feet, so it would be very, very interesting. I'll be very interested to see if Alex Pereira wins. I think it's an immediate rematch with Adesanya, and then if he wins the second fight, I'm very curious where he would go from there, because I don't think he's beaten Whitaker. I don't think he's beaten Vettori. So it's going to be very interesting. Yan Xiaonan, okay, read that. That's a good match. Last I heard, Pereira and his wife both lost to Jorge Masvidal in his DMs. Okay. Bo is very talented, though. Definitely has potential. Definitely has potential, but he's fought nothing but grocery store cashiers. Is he fighting Alex almost like fighting Yan at 205 since Alex is bigger than Izzy? No. Pereira has to cut down to the 185-pound limit. I don't think he's anywhere near as big as Yan. Can you rate the hardest fights for Pereira from Whitaker, Costa, and Vettori from easiest to hardest? Hardest fight is definitely... I'm honestly going to go Vettori, because Vettori has an iron chin, has a crazy pace, and has decent wrestling. So I think Vettori is hard. Then I think Whitaker is second hardest, but I think Whitaker's very hard as well. And I think Costa's the most beatable. But I think I could even see Costa. I think Costa would mix in the grappling against Pereira as well and probably out-grapple him. What's the fight night meal tomorrow? I don't know. Maybe I might get wings. Can you really be fast track if you were a champion in another league? Yeah. Yes, you can. Who's the scarier looking, Pereira or Wanderlei Silva? Wanderlei Silva for sure. Are there any coaches that could get you to watch tough? I mean, if they did like Francis Ngannou, no. There's nothing that could get me to watch that garbage. I don't think. I really don't care about the drama that much. I mean, does it add an extra layer to the fights? Kind of interesting, but oh, we're going to coach in a house and we're going to be around each other and we're going to play games. Woohoo! Tough is garbage. If you want me to watch tough, you got to throw a whole division in the house. Throw a whole division in the house. Split them up into teams. And let's have elite level fights. Imagine you throw... Like, if you really did a show and you had, like, Conor McGregor, Dustin Poirier, Michael Chandler, Rafael Fiziev, all those guys in the house, and they played the game of The Ultimate Fighter with the elite level, like, top 15, I'd be hyped and I'd tune in. I don't care who the coaches were. But for me, it's the competition on the show. And the fights would have to be live, I guess. So I don't even know if they'd be able to do that, to be quite honest. DC really said Mayweather is the greatest combat athlete of all time. Okay. Bro, I already know if they beat Izzy, would riot against the rematch. I already know if he beat Izzy, people would riot against. They would say, oh, he doesn't deserve it. He's now lost 3 times. Which would be a joke. What's next for Izzy if he beats Alex? I say Hamzat. Honestly, it'll probably be Strickland if he beats Cannonier or Darren Till if he beats Strikers. Alex is massive for 185. He might be 200 plus on fight night. That is true. That is true. My guess is Adesanya will probably be like 195 though. I disagree. Anderson had titles and a ton of wins overseas. He got a title fight his second fight. I don't think he was fast-tracked. I mean, it depends. I mean, you're arguing semantics at this point. Who do you think hits harder, Ngannou or Wilder? I'll say Ngannou, but I don't know. Yuri got fast-tracked, but no one's giving him shit for it either. Yeah, I mean, it's not a big deal. It's in certain scenarios, it's perfectly fine. It's perfectly fine to be fast-tracked. It's not necessarily a bad thing. Adesanya was so angry at the weigh-ins because he made Alex look like a killer. That's a good thing because he won, basically owns 2 more divisions. I don't know if he was mad. I didn't really see that. So, everyone dismissing Lewis, but forget he almost getting Tuivasa out of there before getting caught. That is true. That is very true. But Lewis has been finished so many times at this point. It is what it is. I'm not picking Derek Lewis ever again. I will not be picking Derek Lewis anymore. Ever. All right, guys, do me a favor if you have not already. Like the stream, We're going to go for a little bit longer. This is the UFC 281 Israel Adesanya Alex Pereira live stream, pre-fight stream. We've gone over my full card picks. I've answered every question you guys could possibly have about the fight card. We're going to do a couple polls, answer a few more questions. We're definitely going over 2 hours, so I'm not leaving just a second. But it's hard to believe we're 20. This is the last time you guys will see me live. The next time you will see me live, we will know the results of UFC 281. So that's going to be insane. Tomorrow night, make sure you join me for the live post-fight. Whose striking is better in your opinion, Whittaker or Pereira's? Pereira's. But MMA striking, Whittaker mixes it up better because he has the threat of the takedown. So I could see Whittaker outstriking Pereira because of the threat of the takedown. Do you think Izzy just walk out to the cage or perform? Do you think Izzy just walk out to the cage or perform? I think he will perform tomorrow. What's next for Ottman Azaitar if he wins? Has KO 10, 13 opponents. Maybe Paddy Pimblett if Paddy beats Jarrett Gordon. Alex cuts down from 230. That's a lot of weight to cut. Yeah, I guess so. I didn't know that, but all right. I just think it's different because Alex obviously got fast-tracked because the Izzy situation. To be fair, Izzy did beat 2 elite contenders. It made sense. Yeah. I mean, exactly. There's different... Each it's a case-by-case basis. Izzy's a little rocked against Gastelum when they fought. I know he has power, but he used to be a 170er. Izzy fought at 205. I mean, Kelvin Gastelum is a very good fighter, so come on, cut him some slack. And that was a long time ago. And Gastelum's the only one that's had a real competitive fight against Izzy, which is crazy. Remember when Rumble Johnson would cut down to 170? I know. How crazy is that? Dude went from 170 to fighting at heavyweight. That is straight up insanity. I mean, how is that even possible? Bitsy says, with a $2 super chat, I dare you to stay another hour. What would I stay another hour for? Look, I'll tell you this. I'm probably going to stay for another 15 minutes anyway. If we get a $20 donation, I'll stay for another hour. I'll make this a 3-hour stream. If we get a $20 donation or a combination of $20, like if somebody donates 10, somebody else donates 10, I'll make it a 3-hour stream. Okay, but I am staying for like another 15 minutes anyway. So, but thank you, Bitsy, for the $2 super chat. I greatly appreciate you. Going towards my new computer or my pay-per-view tomorrow, one or the other. Is Chandler winning better for the sport? I don't know, man. I don't think it really matters. Both guys are in a similar situation. They're both elite level fighters. They're both not really close to a title shot. They're both kind of getting towards the tail end of their career. So I don't think it really matters, but I think Chandler would be a more interesting matchup for Islam Makhachev. Vince G, thank you for the $10 super chat. I don't know how to attach the messages. What was going to be your super chat message? That's what I need to know. That's for your new computer. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I appreciate you. Bitsy as well. Thank you, Vince. Thank you, Derek. Oh, you guys are really getting me right now. I appreciate you guys. Thank you, Derek. Someone matched my 10 so Joey can stay on longer and tell his scary story. Well, I guess technically Vince just threw it out there. Vince is good. I mean, we'll see. Maybe we'll stay another hour. Next thing you know, I forget, one of these pre-fight live streams is like my most donated to live stream. And it was like a bunch of different donations. And I think it would end up being like $250 worth of donations or $300 worth of donations, honestly. So maybe this extra hour will be worth it. But I'll stay on. I'll give you guys a 3-hour stream. So, stay until 11 was going to be my message. I'll stay. Unless I get absolutely exhausted, I'll stay for a 3-hour stream. I don't mind. It's only 10:30, so I don't mind. But appreciate you guys. Appreciate you guys very, very much. Tonight I almost made enough to pay for my pay-per-view tomorrow, so I'm happy. I'm happy about that. Okay. Plus being a rising champ. Yeah, I don't think it's wrong. There's nothing wrong with being fast-tracked to a title. Uh, Bitsy said, say less. Derek, say less. Thank you for the $10 donation, Bitsy. I greatly appreciate you. I really do appreciate it, guys. Thank you for the super chats. It means a lot. The channel is growing. I appreciate your guys' support. It seems like every month the donations just keep going up and up and up and up. So thank you. And I almost have my pay-per-view paid for now. So we can keep we got three $10 hollers in a row, as besides you would call them. So keep them coming, guys. Keep them coming. But again, back to what we were talking about. There's nothing wrong with being fast track. No, it's not a bad thing. You know, we're not saying fast track doesn't necessarily mean gifted a title shot. Alex Pereira, I have no problem with him getting a title shot. He beat a top 10 ranked guy and he KO'd him, and there's no one else more deserving. You know, if you're gifted a title shot, that's a different scenario. Fast track doesn't mean necessarily a bad thing. I'd pick Derek Lewis in the hottest balls contest, by the way. Do you think we've seen the last of Stipe? I think we'll probably see Stipe fight one more time, maybe. So, but yeah, guys, you have Derek, Bitsy, and Vince all to thank. We are going to do a 3-hour pre-fight stream. And, yeah, so thank Vince, Bitsy, and Derek. Everyone thank them in the chat if you're enjoying the stream. And I don't mind, honestly. I was going to stay for another 15 minutes anyway, so you get an extra hour, almost an extra hour out of me. Already answered that. Is it just me or getting nervous when the fights you've been waiting for all months are beginning? My heart starts pounding for sure. Even if I'm not rooting for anyone, my heart starts really pounding. Rumble might be an alien. Apparently he's having serious health issues now. Like trolling, that's for the new. Thank you. By the way, Vince, I think the way you attach the message, you click right below it. Right below it. What are the super chats you can donate? I never even looked at it. You can donate 2, 5, 10, 20, 50, 100, 200, 300, 400, 500. If anyone ever donates 500, I'm going to have to flop out of my chair because I'm going to have to give them some type of reaction. Also, I guess I owe Derek who can Dan Hooker beat the top 10, 15 fighter range? I don't know. There's not a lot of great matchups for him, to be honest. Let me take a look. UFC rankings. He could beat Tony Ferguson. He could probably beat Connor. I think he probably loses to Grant Dawson, but he could beat Grant Dawson. So he can basically beat the guys that are below him. He ain't beating anyone above him, in my opinion. I don't think he's beating anybody above him. My guy, Derek wants a scary story yet again. Derek wants a scary story yet again. I don't know, man. I got to come up with another scary story for you. The scariest story I can think of off the top of my head is, you know, I put on my normal clothes. You know, okay, here you go. Scary story. I wake up. It's the day of UFC 281. Israel Adesanya versus Alex Pereira. I wanna just throw my Venom gear on, but I'm saying, you know what? The pay-per-view is not till 10 p.m. Eastern time. So I don't need to throw my Venom gear on just yet because maybe I eat some wings for dinner. I don't want to stain my Venom gear, okay? So I go about my day. I come home. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to be up late watching the pay-per-view, doing the post-fight stream. So I'm going to take a quick nap. I take a quick nap. I wake up and I go in my closet right before the early prelims. It's about 6 o'clock and my Venom gear is nowhere to be found. And then it hits me. Wait a second. I forgot to pick it up at the dry cleaners. Because, you know, you can't just wash and dry your Venom gear and your fight kits at home. You can't throw it in a normal dryer. You have to get it dry cleaned. So I rush over to the dry cleaner. And much to my surprise, it is taped off with yellow crime scene tape. And I try to force my way through. Okay? I try to make some calls. But I can't get through. And I have to go home and I got to watch the fights without my Venom gear. The dry cleaners was robbed. And I'm like, okay, I'll miss the event without my Venom gear. It's not going to be as fun, but it is what it is. I'll go and get it in a couple days. I go to the dry cleaner 2 days later after the investigation is done. The area is not taped off anymore. Turns out, not only did the robbers take the cash from the register, they also took my fight kit, my custom Venom fight kit. So now we got a criminal moseying around, robbing houses with an MMA Joey custom fight Venom kit. So that's the scariest story I could think of off the top of my head. So I hope you enjoyed. That is super spooky, to be quite honest. I wish for Ottman Azaitar versus Patty. I think if they both win their next fights, it's possible. I mean, they can only protect Patty for so long. If Hooker loses, where does he go from here? Dude's like 1-4 in his last 5. I think he heads on over to PFL. Imagine if City Kickboxing takes a full sweep of L's tomorrow night. That'd be insanity. You do a good job, bro. Keep it up. Thank you, Vince, and thank you for your donation. Thank you for your entertainment while I'm painting. Appreciate you, Jordan. What are you painting? That's what I would like to know. Are you painting like one room, a whole house, or what? I thought you meant it as a negative being fast track. I misunderstood. There you go. It can, in some cases, it can be negative, but not in all cases. Izzy beats Alex even worse than Sean beat Piotr. Yeah. Too bad Sean didn't beat Piotr. Piotr beat the brakes off of Sean O'Malley, and Sean O'Malley had some moments. Some short but sweet moments for himself. Poirier win incoming, Frankie going to sleep. I have Poirier, I have Frankie winning, so I don't believe he's going to sleep. Would you rather do live streams only or YouTube videos only for the rest of your YouTube career? I don't know. I like a good mix of both, so I couldn't pick one or the other. I like talking to you guys live, so that way you guys know I'm not a fraud, but I also like doing the videos as well. They're both rich. Yo, Joey, what's up? Izzy has the comic book like UFC career I've ever seen. I hope he wins and keeps this going. We'll see. We'll see if he continues to win. Rumble is having health issues. That's what I heard. That's sad to hear. Probably cutting all that weight. I don't know if it's that. It could be something else. It sounds like some type of disease or something from what I've heard, but it's never been clarified. How about if someone gives you 500, you lean back in your chair, hands on head, eye bulging and going, I'll definitely do that for 500. The Joe Rogan impersonation of the crazy finish. Thoughts on fighters squaring up on top of the building? It's for promotion, but that shit's the corniest shit I ever seen in my entire life. Oh my God. I can't wait for Israel Adesanya versus Alex Pereira because they squared up on the top of the Empire State Building and they took photos of it. That's so crazy. I'm so pumped. I can't believe it. They squared up on the top of the Empire State Building. I'm definitely buying this pay-per-view now. You know? I was almost going to buy it because Rogan told me to on his podcast. And he's super motivational and educational as well. But now, you know, I was thinking about not buying it because Izzy puts on boring fights. But, you know, when I saw Izzy square up with Alex Pereira on the top of the Empire State Building, I was sold right then and there. And if I wasn't sold, when I saw Carla and Weili square up on the top of the Empire State Building, I was even more sold. And then to see Dustin and Chandler, and then those pics in the elevator at Madison Square Garden. I mean, seriously, I'm about to order it on every device I have. I'm about to order the pay-per-view 4 times over now. I can't believe that. Thoughts on Joe leaving when Dana leaves? That's a win for the MMA community. I love me some Venom scary stories. This story is so spooky. What wings do you like? I always ask for drumsticks, and they look at me funny. I make my own marinade. Flavor, I like hot buffalo, and I prefer the drumsticks. Anybody that likes flats cannot be trusted. Don't get me wrong, I don't hate flats, but I would, if I could have all drums, I prefer all drums. Wasn't Pimlet a champion in LFA or whatever? He was a champion somewhere. I don't even know. Nice one, Joey. Thank you, Mukhtar. Thanks a lot, Joey. About to have nightmares tonight. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm going to give you nightmares about Venom gear now. I mean, can you imagine? Can you imagine what I went through with that nightmare? It was craziness. There's nothing worse than not wearing your Venom gear. There's nothing worse than not wearing your Venom gear during a big pay-per-view. Azaitar versus Patty prediction. We'll see how Azaitar looks on Saturday or tomorrow. But I got Azaitar. I think he's a far better striker, and I think he'll stop the takedowns of Patty Pimblett. Ilya and Bryce, book it. Book it. It's already booked. Do you think the UFC will trade? No. What's your prediction for the fight tomorrow night? I have Adesanya via 4th round TKO. Connor's ride was amazing. No. I mean, I guess so. From a sports perspective, it was kind of cool, but honestly, he got protected all the way up, basically. He beat Dennis Seaver for a title shot. So, I want Piotr O'Malley rematch when O'Malley gets trammed again. I mean, any other instance, any other fight anywhere else, Jan would be getting a rematch. They'd be rebooking that. Dana White would be criticizing the decision. It was a clear win for Jan. There's nobody that thought when that was going to the judges' scorecards that O'Malley truly won. Jan beat the shit out of him. O'Malley landed the knee in the 3rd round. He still lost the round. It was a competitive fight, but it was not a close fight. Just because it's competitive does not make it close. Jan won all 3 rounds fairly decisively, in my opinion. And people can say, oh, well, look at the stats. Dude, you don't even know who makes those stats. Jan clearly won clearly landed the more significant, more powerful, more damaging strikes. Piotr going to Bellator? Absolutely not. That would never happen. What's up with the fight that's being investigated? There's no new news on it, but apparently there was some suspicious betting activity. I mean, fight if the night. Which matchup do you think will be the best? Probably Poirier versus Chandler. Joe, do you think Carla can survive first round against Weili? I don't think so. It's possible. Wearing your gear to watch a fight, you sound like a 10-year-old. Wait a second. You don't wear your Venom gear when you watch the fights? I mean, if you're not wearing your Venom gear when you're watching the fights, you're in the minority for sure. Peter's going to kill him, but he's not going to Bellator. Sean will be going to Bellator, though, after he fights, O'Malley, or not O'Malley, after he fights Aljamain. O'Malley won because of the damage in the 3rd round. Cut Jan's eyebrow and made him bleed. Jan did more damage in the 3rd round. I rest my case. He KO'd number 5 Dustin before Seaver. Idiot. That was set up to have Aldo there. Jan didn't win. It was close. This guy's just a clown. What a clown. With the constant name calling. And his name's Batman. Connor got gifted a title shot off a win over Dennis Seaver. And O'Malley clearly lost. And everybody knows that. It was not close. So, it doesn't matter because he's not going to beat Aljo anyway. So, it is what it is. Maybe one day Sean O'Malley will earn a rematch with Piotr Jan after getting 30-27 by Piotr Jan in the real world. And maybe he'll be able to avenge the loss. You know? I doubt it. I doubt Sean O'Malley would ever have the necessary skills to beat Piotr Jan. But you never know. He could improve. He's still young. He's very good. But I don't see a world in which Sean O'Malley ever is able to beat Piotr Jan. So, since when does blood determine a win or loss? I don't know. There's some people that don't understand the rules, and they think damage means only visible damage. Because Jan did more damage to O'Malley in every single round. And it's not even close up for debate. But there is the people who are like, yeah, I smoke weed. I have marijuana leaf pictures on my socks. I definitely thought O'Malley won, even though they know they didn't think he won. When it was going to the scorecards, they didn't think he won. Pete beat the shit out of him, you know? So, it is what it is. Everybody knows that. The UFC knows it. The fans know it. You know, it's like when it's not even as bad as the Aldo Moraes. Aldo lost technically, but at the same time, he wasn't credited with it by the UFC. They gave Aldo a title shot off the loss. So, Jan is right in the title picture still. I wouldn't even bat an eye if they gave Jan a title shot next. So Jan was constantly pushing the pace and landing the more devastating shots. So, I mean, it really is. The only people defending the decision are O'Malley fanboys. And I guess they just don't understand the rules of a fight because, I mean, it's pretty clear. But people like to root for the popular guy, I guess. They like him because they smoke weed. Anybody saying they really thought O'Malley won, they're just like a pothead, probably. They're like a 17-year-old pothead. And they wear marijuana leaf graphic memorabilia apparel. Let me see something real quick. So, keep the questions coming, guys. Keep the questions coming. I'll be doing a live stream post-fight tomorrow evening. If you guys care to join me immediately following the fights. If Petr Yan gets 2 more wins in a row, he can have a title shot. O'Malley got gifted a decision straight up. Dude is talented, but he has a machine pushing him. Yeah. I mean, the UFC, I don't even think the UFC is going to give O'Malley a title shot, to be honest. Against Aljo, at least, because they know what will happen in that fight. I mean, Aljo will destroy O'Malley badly, unless O'Malley can just drastically improve his takedown defense. O'Malley fans were high when they saw him fight Yan, so it makes sense. That is true. They're probably smoking crack. But it is what it is. It's over and done with. Everybody knows that Yan won, so it's like when Charles Oliveira was no longer the lightweight champion. We all knew he was the lightweight champion going into that Islam Makhachev fight. And we all know Yan won. So there's no need to even debate it. Extra scary. The winner pushes the loser off the Empire State Building in their Venom gear. Sign me up for that. That would make the fight a lot more interesting. Be like one of those WWE matches from back in the day where they would like shave their head or they're buried alive, or who remembers that like cement match or some shit? I don't remember exactly what it was. But that'd be super scary. That'd be super scary. But I'm really looking forward to this card tomorrow, guys. I mean, from the prelims up, I mean, I always try to tune in from the first fight, but even the early prelims are pretty solid. Ottman Azaitar, Matt Frevola on the early prelims. I mean, I'm really looking forward to every fight on this card. It's really going to be good. That main card is looking spectacular. I can't wait. Dustin Poirier. Once we get to that Dustin Poirier, Michael Chandler walkouts, I'm be on cloud 9, to be quite honest. I'm telling you, Batman's alter ego was Bernie. Yeah, probably. Izzy via flying elbow what's a flying elbow? I don't even know. You mean spinning back elbow? I think Izzy is going to KO him in the 4th round, if you missed my prediction. I mean, people are acting like Pereira is such a good striker. Izzy is better. Izzy's a better striker than him. Pereira has the power advantage. Izzy's a better striker, more technical striker. And I will die on that hill. Even if Pereira wins, it will not be because he's the more technical striker. It'll be because he lands a nasty left hook while he's getting outstruck. That's what I believe. In the last 7 days, we have gotten almost 30,000 views. That is pretty sweet. That is pretty sweet. I still can't believe Aaron Blanchfield, Molly McCann, my most viewed UFC 281 video. Outside of the things I hate about UFC 281. So, out of my prediction videos, Aaron Blanchfield, Molly McCann's the most viewed. The things I hate about UFC 281 got almost 8,000 views. Which I'm doing those now for every single card. So I hope you guys are enjoying them. Can you stream you watching the fights? I'm going to do a post-fight tomorrow. I'm not doing a live stream. I'm going to chill in my living room, sit on my couch, and watch the fights on my TV in my living room for a change. It's been like 3 events. It's been like 3 pay-per-view events since I last did that. And I told you guys I was never going to do streaming every pay-per-view. So you can join me live for the post-fight tomorrow. I guess Molly's more popular than Adesanya. Absolutely not. There's no way. Adesanya, even though he's super cringe, is very, very popular. People love Adesanya. He's got a cool nickname, I guess. So there's no way Molly McCann. I mean, Adesanya is going to sell pay-per-views. Molly McCann, put her on a pay-per-view, you see what happens there. Let's do some polls. We'll do some polls. Who wins? Guys, keep the questions coming. Keep the questions coming about UFC 281. Give me your guys' thoughts on UFC 281. Who wins tomorrow? I'm doing a poll in the chat right now to see how many people agree with me. Pereira. Who wins tomorrow? Israel Adesanya or Alex Pereira? Go vote in the poll. I have Israel Adesanya via TKO, 4th round. So let's see what you guys are saying. Izzy's the most technical striker for sure. Izzy's kind of chinny, but his defense is just so good that he doesn't get hit. He got put out when he got hit, and Gastelum and Romero rocked him. I don't think Romero rocked him, but definitely hit him hard. So, watch people chant Molly's name in the stadium at MSG. Doubtful. Glover Teixeira looked worse today at a media session. He should not fight Yuri. I did not see it. But there's no doubt that last fight took a lot of damage. She took a lot of damage and wear and tear. Go vote in the poll. When did you start doing the MMA YouTube video thing? About a year and a half ago? Less than a year, or just over a year and a half now. I started in April of last year. Why do you ask? Why do you ask? I'm just curious. Have you just found the channel? Is that it? Did you just find the channel in this stream? But yeah, I mean, we're almost at 6,000 subscribers, guys. We are 128 subscribers away from 6,000 subs on the channel. For a year and a half, I'm hyped for that. I mean, that's a massive accomplishment for a year and a half. Yuri actually looks like the final boss in a Mafia game now. I haven't seen him recently, but I'll take your word for it. Just wondering, yeah, I just followed like a month ago. That's awesome, man. I'm glad you found the channel. I'm glad you've been enjoying the channel, and I appreciate you coming to the live stream. I do these every Friday before a big UFC pay-per-view. But I try to stream a couple times a week. And especially during a big fight week like this, I try to stream a bunch. So I'm glad you found the channel, and I'm glad you're enjoying the channel. I enjoy doing these, honestly. It looks like the chat is with me right now. It's 56% Adesanya, 44% picking Pereira. So on my community tab, it was 51% Pereira, 49% Adesanya, which is straight up insanity. It sounds windy as hell outside right now. I've been watching since 1.7K subs. Yeah, this year, if you really think about it, this year has been massive. So let's see. Where do we start out the first of the year? The first of the year, we weren't even at 2,000 subs. So we were about 1,900 subs. So we've essentially gained 4,000 subscribers. Yeah, we've gained 4,000 subscribers in the year of 2022. So, or so far. We still got 2 months left. I want to get as close to 10,000, if not to 10,000. But that's a huge goal. That's a huge goal. So we'll see. Is this your hobby? Of course. Of course, of course, of course. I love doing this, honestly. It's a lot of fun. So, here I am. Who has more power, Pereira or Adesanya? That's an easy question, dude. Pereira definitely has more power. But if Pereira walks into a big shot, Izzy can definitely put him out. No doubt about it. Izzy has good power. He's a very good counter. Lamau, I don't know what we're Lamauing about, but fair enough, Venom. Happy to see your growth. Hope it turns out to be a full career. Me too. Me too. I think it's possible. Another year or so, another year or two, I think it's possible to make a full-time income off YouTube. So I'm just going to continue doing what I'm doing. Right now, my graph is just looking like this. Like, so a lot of people take some 2 years to get to 1,000. So I'll be very happy to get 6,000 in less than 2 years. So I'll definitely I don't want to jinx myself. I'll definitely have 10,000 subs before the 2-year anniversary because I'm 6 months away from the 2-year anniversary. There's no way. Right now we're gaining about 800 to 1,000, 700 to 1,000 maybe subs per month. So at that rate, in 6 months we'll definitely hit 10,000. So in 2 years I hit 10,000 subs. I'm very happy with that. And it's all thanks to you guys. So let me take a look. Do you do any short videos yet? No, I'll never do YouTube shorts. I hate YouTube shorts, to be honest. As long as you keep being you. Yeah, I will. I'm not, no matter what, dude. You ain't gonna see me change into some weird like character or anything weird like that. If I have 5 subs or I have 100,000 subs or I have 1,000,000 subs, I'm gonna be the same person I am right this very second. Man, I do think The Rock lost some respect in my eyes after his UFC deal. Yeah, I mean, those shoes are ugly as hell. So, Pereira has now taken the lead in the poll, I just noticed. You'll be at 100 Gs by the end of next year. Don't forget your OGs. I will not. What is Adesanya's best chance to win a decision or a KO in your opinion? In your opinion, if you were to say he's going to mix in wrestling, I don't think he's going to mix. I don't think he's going to mix in the wrestling. I think Adesanya is going to KO him. But I think he could win a decision as well. But I think Pereira gets too aggressive, and if he's losing, he's going to get even more aggressive, and he's going to get KO'd. I really like your videos and hanging out in the live chats, but mostly lurk while I'm at work or while I'm working. Thank you for the entertainment. No problem, man. I appreciate you watching. Every watch, every view, every like, every second of watch time helps the channel. So I say this every single stream. If you want to help the channel, watch as many videos as you can that I put out and watch them for as long as possible. The length that you guys watch them is what determines if YouTube promotes it in the algorithm. So if I release a video and all my usual suspects watch it in its entirety, YouTube decides to push it out to more people. So I appreciate you. Really, 57%. Yeah, Pereira's at 54% right now. But not everyone has voted. I mean, barely anyone's voted. What's going on here? Who do you think either Izzy or Alex will call out after winning tomorrow? I don't know if Izzy will call out anyone or Alex will call out anyone. And I think if Alex wins, it's going to be an immediate rematch. Rock lost me when he started sharing. Oh, you're talking to him. What if Izzy Pereira ends via injury and Esparza lays in praise on Weili? I'm jumping in a wood chipper. Pereira's going to sub Izzy. You can't train with Glover every day and suck at grappling. Dude, he's not subbing Izzy. That's not happening. He's not even going to be able to take Izzy down, in my opinion. He would have to hurt him badly and then guillotine him as Izzy's trying to like scramble back to his feet. So there's no way, shape, or form that I think Izzy gets submitted. Pereira's hurt. He's hurt. Oh my God, he's hurt. The way he's holding that left hand, I think he might be injured. Oh, but he's throwing it though. He's throwing it. Oh, he's in real trouble here. He's in real trouble here. Joe Rogan. That's what all he says. He's like a soundboard at this point. Izzy or Pereira via injury, it's called TKO. Stop. No, whatever happens, I don't want any fluky ending. I think Alex will win for the simple fact that when Izzy hit Alex, it did not damage him that much. And when the opposite happened, the fight was over. Izzy almost finished him. in their second kickboxing fight. So I'm going to disagree with you on that one. Is Izzy the middleweight GOAT with an impressive win over Pereira? No. Anderson Silva still has that title. Let me see something. I hate The Rock and Vin Diesel. Dude, they ruined the Fast and the Furious movies after like number 4. So, I'm not a big fan of either myself. The Fast and the Furious movies have turned into the absolute cornball Olympics, basically. Worst shit I've ever seen in my life. I got 1.5 million tabs open right now. Does Dana actually believe Sean versus Piotr could have gone either way? No. He's just saying that. He doesn't really believe that. He knows, everybody knows that Sean O'Malley lost that fight. Okay? Sean O'Malley knows it. Tim Welsh knows it. All the fans know it. Dana White knows it. Everyone in the arena knows it. But it is what it is. There's nothing you can do. We just got to move on. And that's it. But no, Dana does not actually believe that. If that was a title fight, let's say Conor fought RDA and Conor was Jan and RDA was O'Malley, and that decision happened, he'd be flipping out. Of course Dana's going to say, I wouldn't expect Dana to say anything else other than it could have gone either way. There's no way. That fight wasn't even that close at all. I don't know what the judges were looking at. Again, I'm not into the UFC's. Oh, the UFC's setting it up because they're paying off the judges. No, the judges are just incompetent. Grossly incompetent. And that's what's going on there. Do you think Dana would allow Sean to fight Triple C or Aljo next? I'm going to make a video on that Monday or Tuesday, but no, I do not. There's a chance, but I think it's very doubtful in my opinion. Very doubtful because he knows what will happen. He knows what will happen, my guys. Just checking something really quick. Still got Izzy. It's not too late to change your mind. Yes. Yes. I got Izzy. And I think Izzy finishes him. And if you guys haven't checked out that full breakdown and prediction, make sure you check it out after this live stream. I'm so excited for tomorrow. Between 24 hours, we'll be getting close to the main event. I couldn't be more excited right now. Dana believes O'Malley won the fight with as much convictions as he believes Nate and Hamzat would have been a competitive matchup. Couldn't have said it better myself. By the way, Adesanya has taken back the lead at 51%. I can see Izzy versus Yuri next fall. UFC will probably want to take him more time off to build it up properly. That's very possible. I'm coming your way around Thanksgiving to visit my parents. Where do your parents live? That's pretty cool. I think Sean will fight Chito next. I think that's most likely as well. I have a bantamweight matchmaker video that you can check out, but I agree. That's probably going to happen next. To be fair, Dana was probably pissed when GSP got the nod. GSP was the main biggest stars, constantly selling near 1 million pay-per-view. Yeah, but he was pissed because GSP retired. Otherwise, he would have been probably happy. Carla is getting so much hate from her people. It is because the way she won the belt, yes. Or the way she didn't win the belt. What's your favorite Fast and the Furious movie? I can't remember. Probably the second one. I think it's the second or third one I like the best. Or maybe even the first one. Anything after like 4 was awful. Fast 5 and up was just god awful. And they only got progressively worse. I can't believe anybody's still watching those. It's actually really disturbing that people enjoy those and they keep making them over and over and over again. I mean, and they're so corny too. I mean, who's writing those scripts? Okay. Sorry, guys. Keep the questions coming. We're going for 3 hours. We're already 2.5 hours in. So we're going for another half hour, guys. Appreciate you guys. I really think you need way more time to beef up for a heavyweight class. Yeah. I think so as well. Just like I've said the same thing about Volk. Not enough time to size up. Pizza or burgers? I don't know. I'd probably lean burgers. Sorry we kept you here long, Joey. As an Oceanic fan, I hope we sweep tomorrow. My only doubt is Riddell. Hey, man, I don't mind being here. It's not that I mind being here. So I'm happy to be here. So don't apologize for anything. So Dana was pissed that GSP took the middleweight strap and retired. Dana wouldn't let GSP box Oscar De La Hoya. Yeah, he's pissed. Black Panther and the Northman sucked. I didn't think the Northman was that bad. Black Panther was okay. I didn't think it was terrible. I went and saw it today, actually. What can we do to get a 4-hour stream? A 4-hour stream, man. That's asking for a whole lot. That's a whole lot. I don't know, man. I don't know if I can whore myself out for 4 hours. It's not even about sitting here talking about MMA. I don't mind that. It's just sitting for like 4 hours is crazy. It's like I have like ADHD. It's like sitting here for that long. But I'll tell you this, look. Because you're not going to do this. But a $200 donation, we go for 4 hours. But there's no way you're doing that, Derek. First Yuri, now Pereira doing that warrior mode. Yeah, we'll see if it works out for him. Pereira did look kind of interesting at the weigh-ins. I mean, I kind of felt bad for Carla, so she's a talentless fighter compared to her division and fought a terrible fight, but then so did her opponent. That is very true. Rose deserves to be equally as booed in her next fight. Hey, Joey, with all the damage Holloway has taken in his career, when do you think he should retire? I think it's a little premature to speculate on that. But if he takes another 2 or 3 fights with like crazy amount of damage, when he starts getting KO'd, it's probably time. The Northman started off great and then got shitty. I got to rewatch it. It's been a bit. But I didn't think it was that bad. But I thought it could have been a lot better than it was. Volk moving up too quick. Islam will finish inside 3 rounds. Yeah, I mean, he's not going to be able to put on any serious bulk. Marcus J, thank you for the $2 super chat. Thoughts on fighter pay? I think that I don't know what the answer is, but the UFC shares far too little of their revenue with the fighters, and it's too low. I don't know if there's a one-size-fits-all solution, but the fact that, they can pay off an entire fight card with like 27,000 pay-per-view buys or something along those lines is ridiculous. And I think the fighters definitely need to get paid more. But I don't know what the answer is. But I think the fighters are underpaid for sure. I think and I understand the barrier of entry has gotten lower and lower for the UFC. But they still need those guys to fill slots. Because people say, why should they pay them more? No one wants to watch. No one watches the early prelims. First off, that's not true. People watch the early prelims. Second off, if those fighters don't exist, they don't fill those spots. If they don't fill those spots, guess what? The UFC can't sell those ads to advertisers. The screen time, the octagon time, it's all figured into the Venom deals and the sponsors on the cage and the sponsors that John Anik reads during those prelim fights that make money. I don't think any fighter that is fighting 2 to 3 times a year, taking potential brain damage and permanent damage in their life, I don't think should be working a second job and being poor. Let me put it that way. Oh shit, did you see the Usman in the movie? Yes, I did. I did see Usman in the movie. It was he was in the movie for like 15 seconds. Volk gonna smash Islam? Doubtful. Still crazy. Usman got brutally KO'd. I know, dude. That was one of the craziest things ever. I could not believe that. Hey, Joey, what do you think of Dana? Dana's all right sometimes, but he lies quite a bit. But he's just promoting the company, I guess. Bro, the first fight scene in Northman was awesome. They were all tripped out on mushrooms thinking they were wolves. I can't even remember. I'm going to have to go back and rewatch that. It's been a bit. Columbia, Maryland. That's awesome, man. That's awesome. I hope you enjoy your time, my friend, for Thanksgiving. The UFC does give fighters shitty contracts. Once they sign, they have you by the balls. That's the other thing. The contracts are so restrictive. It's unbelievable. The contracts are predatory. And it's basically like, once you sign, it doesn't matter how well you do because you're stuck, you know? So if you become a big superstar in the middle of that contract, the UFC can kind of screw you over. Adesanya is now up to 56% in the poll. 56% of the chat believe that Adesanya will pull it off. Not to say I think Dana is doing a fair job. He's a bitch. Yeah, I mean, there's pros and cons about Dana, you know. It's very annoying. And I hate the people that are just gobbling up the UFC. Oh, Dana, we love you so much. Thank you for paying the fighters poorly. And I get it. It's not a one size fits all. Oh, everyone needs to make $200,000 a year or anything like that. But it's definitely predatory in my opinion. Sign shorter contracts, but the UFC will hold that over your head. They'll say, you know what? Okay, you want to sign a shorter contract? Go sign somewhere else then. Yeah, UFC screws its fighters big time. Imagine Ngannou getting $600K, man. That's awful. Yeah, that's very subjective though, because Ngannou was turning down other offers from the UFC because he wanted to fight out his contract. But yeah, $600K for Ngannou is terrible. He should be getting paid millions for sure. I mean, he's drawing in millions of dollars. And anyone saying otherwise is delusional. Because even if you want to take his UFC 270 pay-per-view, which there's a lot of fake numbers going on around there. Was it $70 for a pay-per-view now? That's $21 million if he sells 300,000 pay-per-view buys. It's $21 million. You're telling me they can't pay him a 1.5 or something like that? You're telling me they can't pay him 1.5 or 1 million? And they sign these guys to like 8-fight contracts, and then they can cut them at any time, but the fighter can't renegotiate at any time. And the UFC, even if you want to get out of your contract, it's damn near impossible. You want to fight out your contract, they'll offer you the worst possible matchups, and they'll shelf you for as long as physically possible. You do fight out your contract and you're a champion, you're automatically extended for a year or 3 fights. Once you do finally get out of your contract, there's a 3-month exclusive negotiation period. And then even after that, there is a year right to match. So even if you sign with another organization, you are forced to re-sign with the UFC. Francis said him not re-signing him costing $7 million compared to his current contract. I wouldn't doubt it. He bet on himself and he won. That's why Dana White didn't wrap the belt around him. Awfully funny how he disappeared. So it definitely cost him some money. And that's why I'm saying the 600,000 figure can kind of be manipulated a little bit. But you get the point. Exactly a year to match, what a farce. Ridiculous. Ridiculous. But the UFC makes these predatory contracts because they're the only... I know there is other organizations, but not... It's like the UFC is kind of like an NFL. And I know they did build that. But still. I just believe there should be a fair share of revenue to the fighters. It should be more than 10%, okay? I don't know what the answer is. Every other league, it's 50%. But the problem is, if you want to do it, you have to get a fighters union. The fighters are never going to band together and sign together for a union. It's just not going to happen. They tried to rattle Francis with that BS lawsuit. That is true as well. And then It's funny because Francis had an injury, but he said, you know what, I'm going to fight it out anyway. Francis is coming back to the UFC. No one else can afford him. We'll see. I mean, he could probably get a boxing match, and I don't want to see that at all, but it could happen. But yeah, I don't think any other organization is going to pay him, $2 million a fight or something like that. And any other organization isn't going to be able to sell the pay-per-views the way the UFC does. And that's why I'm saying it's not, it doesn't need necessarily be a 50-50 split, but it should be more than 10%, maybe 20%. Maybe that's the answer. I don't know. Ngannou would make way more in PFL. Not necessarily, because he should really be making more than the $1 million they get if they win. And this is why I hate Chael. He started talking the company line. When it didn't work with Ngannou, he said Ngannou may win in court. It's going to be like 2 years threat of litigation. What exactly? I can't remember. What exactly was the suit about? I can't remember now. I'm a little bit brain dead. I'm getting tired. Izzy, Francis, and Usman should have banded together, and maybe they could have had some changes. It takes more than that, man. It takes everyone to get together. It really does take everyone getting them together to be able to hold the UFC, where they can actually have some negotiation power. Because the UFC will just say, next man up, next man up. You would need at least 50 fighters, I would say, and they would have to be a lot of top names. But realistically, you need 150 fighters to really cripple the UFC. Read that. I hope he gets KO'd by Fury, and that's a payday for him. Yeah, if he gets paid. I may have done that to harass people, so who knows? Why don't they just hire better managers? Half the time, the managers are being paid by the UFC to figure out contracts that are beneficial to them, because the managers want to make the money as well. So it's a tricky situation. It's a very tricky situation. So, there's speculation, and I believe this goes on. Ali Abdelaziz talks to the UFC and figures out what they want and tries to get the UFC a deal that the UFC wants and talks their fighters into doing it. And then in exchange, the UFC will give them more comparable matchmaking and kind of favoritism a little bit. Does anyone know how much PFL pays Kayla Harrison and how long her contract is? I'm curious if she makes more than Amanda per fight. I have no idea. I think the numbers are out there, but when she wins the tournaments, she makes $1 million. So she makes $1 million when she wins the tournament. But I don't know how much she actually gets paid, but she gets paid a good bit. It's got to be a couple $100,000, would be my guess. Got to be a couple $100,000. Bitsy, thank you for the $2 donation. No, you are not getting tired. Yeah, I'm not getting tired. I am here. We are 2 hours and 47 minutes into the pre-fight stream. And this has been a damn good one, honestly. We went over the full card picks. We've gone through everything. I can't wait to watch these fights tomorrow. UFC couldn't match Kayla's contract. Yeah, I don't think they could, honestly. And what's crazy is I don't think PFL is getting the return on investment, honestly. No one really cares about Kayla Harrison. I don't feel like anyone genuinely cares. So PFL spending all that money, and what are they truly getting in return? I don't know. Not that much. Amanda probably makes more than $1 million a fight. Thoughts? No, she definitely doesn't. I don't think Amanda makes more than $800,000 a fight. I think Amanda probably makes $300,000, $400,000 a fight. But maybe I'm wrong. Amanda Nunes pay. We'll see if there's any numbers. When were the last time? Let's see. Apparently her second fight. I mean, this is from, I don't really trust this website, so it's hard to say. Let's see where the information came from. Yeah, I don't know. It's saying 400,000, but 442,000, but I don't trust that website. So it's not a legitimate website. But it could not be true. That's the range I'd put it at. I think she's probably getting somewhere in the range of 300 to 500,000 per fight. Her matches are like 2 minutes. That is true. NKS, thank you for the $5 super chat. Francis fought out his contract. Chael implied Francis would still be taken to court for breach of contract. TIP, tactic we layers used to harass and waste money. Yeah, there's no way. I mean, he's done everything to the books. So Francis can sit out a year, and then technically he's a free agent. He will be a free agent in January, I believe. And then he has 3 months from January. So from January to April will be the exclusive negotiating period where Francis Ngannou cannot talk to any other promotions. And then after that, the UFC has 1 year to match any contract that Francis Ngannou is offered from any other promotion. Francis will have to show the UFC that contract, and then the UFC can say, okay, we match it. The only big fighter I remember it ever happening with, Gilbert Melendez, when he was a top guy in the lightweight division, fought out his contract, signed with Bellator, then the UFC matched it and kept him in the UFC. So that's the only one I really remember where that happened. I doubt Francis gets $600K. DC said the UFC sometimes pays 3-4 times more than the official numbers say. They don't get credit for numbers that we don't see. You can't give them credit for imaginary numbers. You know, and DC is just a UFC nut hugger, so I wouldn't believe it. Really, that's it. She's like the women's MMA GOAT. I'm not a big fan of female MMA. Yeah, that would be my guess. I can't say for sure because the numbers I found were not from a website that I trust. But that's what I would guess the range to be. She's just not drawing in the amount of revenue that dictates multi-million-dollar paydays per fight. Maybe with some of those pay-per-view points and, you know, when she's on a decent pay-per-view where she's not the main event, maybe she's making upwards of close to $1 million, but it's hard to say with no legitimate proof. But I mean, I don't think she's getting paid massively is what I'm saying. I mean, either way, that's still a lot of money, but you get the point. You get the point. But he won his last fight, so apparently he's obligated to sign 3 fights. I think could be wrong. 3 fights or 1 year is what he's obligated to do. The 1 year is up at the end of January. I got Dan, Frankie. I don't know about Dustin, Chandler, Weili, and Israel. I got Dan, I got Frankie, I got Dustin, and I got Israel, my friend. I just internet searched it, and it said Amanda made $500 against Megan Anderson. So there you go. There you go. Very interesting. Very, very interesting. So, I mean, she's still getting paid all right. But it's the low-end fighters that are in the mid-range fighters that are really getting screwed over, in my opinion. In my opinion, those are the ones that kind of are getting screwed out of pay. Okay, read that. Francis would maul anyone in the division, even John Jones, because he's too small for Ngannou. I would pick John Jones. I'd pick John Jones to win that fight. But all right. Do you have Dustin because he beat Gaethje and Chandler lost to Gaethje? No. I don't do MMA math. I have Dustin because he has better, crisper striking, has a better chin, has a better stamina. And Chandler's kind of chinny. And that's why I'm picking Dustin. For no other reason than those. That's crazy. UFC can hold you a year after your contract is finished. Well, technically, it's really 15 months. So if you really wanted no chance of the UFC re-signing you, you'd have to wait 15 months. And if you're the UFC champion, like for example, with Ngannou, it would be 28 months total if he wanted to be scot-free after his last fight. 2 years, 4 months, basically. Chael says he's one of the boys, yet I've never seen him take a fighter's side. Yeah, dude, sometimes I think Chael is taking like kickbacks from the UFC to promote certain things. I don't trust a word Chael says, and neither should you, to be honest. Chael's a piece of shit, and he's up for sale. You could pay him to do anything. I mean, he makes 26 videos a day, intro, outro, minute and a half ad, and talks in circles for the majority of the video. Chael can be bought and sold by anyone with a decent amount of money. And that's just what he does. That's just what he does. If Michael is patient, he will get the job done. But if he rushes like he did against Gaethje, he will get cleaned up, like Dustin said. I mean, Chandler's striking is too wild. It's too wild. I mean, I don't think he gets the job done. He's going to have to clip Dustin and finish him. Damn, I love Chael. I'm glad you enjoyed Chael, Aiden Nixon. I'm glad you enjoy him. You know, some people, that is for some people. They enjoy watching, 30 videos a day. They might be 8 minutes in length. And it has an intro, an outro, a minute ad in there. And talk in circles for the rest of the time. Some people really enjoy that. Some people don't. I'm in the camp of I do not enjoy that. Michael should shoot a blast double in the first 10 seconds if he's smart and wrestle heavy. Yeah, but if he wrestles heavy, if Michael Chandler wrestles heavy, he'll be gassed out by the end of the first round. He doesn't have the gas tank to wrestle like Khabib did or to wrestle like Islam Makhachev does. The gas tank is not there. Throughout the entire course of his career, he's not been a guy to wrestle guys for 3-5 rounds to a decision win. It's not going to happen. Chandler looks to go out there and knock your head off. And if he can't get that done, it's not going to end up being good for him. But we'll see. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe he mixes in the grappling. Chandler's going to have to play the striking to wrestling to control ground and pound. Yeah, maybe he mixes in the takedowns and that helps him land a big power shot on the feet. But we'll see what happens. Chael has made so many videos where he literally says about nothing about the topic of his video and then throws in a sentence as an afterthought. Yeah, dude, I can't. I'm surprised Chael even still has a following, honestly. I'm surprised people haven't abandoned him en masse. So, true, Joey, those muscles take a lot of oxygen. Exactly. I mean, I know about Michael Chandler's stamina because me and him basically have the same physique. So I can't wrestle for 3 rounds. I'll get tired. And so I know Chandler can't either. It's going to be impossible for him to wrestle for those 3 rounds. It's just not possible. Chandler's fight IQ is his liability. He'll drop his hands and walk into shots on a moment's notice. Yeah, I mean, he fights to try to excite. That's what he does. He wants to be in an exciting fight. And Chandler has a weak defense and Cheney on top of that. And a suspect stamina, too. Suspect gas tank is what I should have said. So I agree with all those points. That's why I'm picking Dustin Poirier. Either second or third round TKO. I went with third round TKO as my official pick. But I could see a late second round. I wasn't able to catch today's stream. Been busy. I'll be back tomorrow for the watch party. Hopefully catch you tomorrow. Just had to pop in for a bit. I'm doing a post-fight. I'm not streaming the fights live. I'm doing a post-fight tomorrow. Unless something drastically changes, I'm just chilling, relaxing, watching the fights. And then I'll be live immediately following the fights tomorrow night. So, my guy, if I win my parlay tomorrow, I'll donate huge. Thank you, Bitsy, for the $2 donation. What is your parlay and what does it pay out for how much you bet? Fill us in on your parlay. But I appreciate you nonetheless. If your parlay hits and you donate huge, I'll be happy as hell. But I'll be happy as hell regardless that you hit your parlay. The booze when Carla said, I'm going to do everything in my power to keep this belt in the U.S. Oh, that's hilarious. Okay, sounds good. I'll see you then, my guy. Enjoy your night. Thank you, Air Mamba, for stopping in anyway. Don't forget to like the stream. And if anybody's watching this right now and they have not liked the stream, do me a favor and like the stream. Also, if anybody's watching who's not subscribed, subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. I will be live tomorrow immediately following the fights. So join me live tomorrow. Maybe I'll pull a Joe Rogan and go, oh, oh. Maybe I'll pull one of those tomorrow. I don't know. So subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications. We did a 3-hour pre-fight stream, guys. We did a 3-hour pre-fight stream. We usually do 2 or 3 hours. Let me go check. I'm going to go take a look real quick for the pre-fights. I can't remember when we started doing the pre-fight, so I'm going to have to search it. Pre-fight. Okay. So this one's 3 hours. 277, we did 2 hours and 17 minutes. 280, we did 1 hour and 58 minutes. For 278, we did 3 hours and 5 minutes. For 279, we did 2 hours and 36 minutes. For 275, we did 2 hours and 27 minutes. I don't know if I said that wrong. The other one was 279. I'm trying to figure out when's the first one we did. The pre-fight streams. So it looks like 275, maybe 274, maybe. I don't see one for 274, but I think we did one for 274. Yeah, I don't see one necessarily titled that, but you get the point. So this has been a pretty long one. This is a pretty long one. I hope you guys have enjoyed this 3-hour stream. Do me a favor, check out my UFC 281 playlist down in the description. I still think Chandler beats Dustin. He's going to play a little bit smarter than he has in the past. We'll see. I think most Americans want Carla to get dominated. Agreed. Chandler was breaking Gaethje's fist with his devastating chin strikes. Yeah. I got rugby and UFC. Don't want to drink it right now. Hookers are one of those legs. Okay. When is Weidman coming back? Supposedly early 2023. All right, guys. I am out of here. Before I leave, 60% poll takes Adesanya in the main event tomorrow. So 60% of the chat agrees with me. Hope you guys enjoy the rest of your night. Hope you guys enjoy UFC 281 tomorrow. Join me live for the UFC 281 post-fight live stream tomorrow evening. Thank you guys for joining me. Don't forget to like this stream. If you want to check out my UFC 281 predictions, they're all in a playlist and a link down in the description. And that's pretty much it. Talk to you guys later and enjoy the rest of your night. Good night.